first time since leaving for Real Madrid this summer. Arne Slot says Trent's reception from him will only be positive.
He was our vice captain, he was my vice captain last season. I have memories working with him who were only positive. And I have memories when I was watching him in front of the television, which are only positive as well.
That won't stop the fans, though, some of whom have been practising their booing live on talkSPORT today. Trent's mural's also been vandalised with white paint as work to restore that is underway. Simon Jordan doesn't think he warrants the abuse, but some negative reaction is inevitable.
Did he give his best in the years that he was there? Did he perform at a high standard for Liverpool? I would suggest the answer is yes.
Exactly.
Is he entitled? Is he entitled to be abused if he comes back? Probably not. But does it go with the territory? Yes. Should he expect it? Yes. Should he get above it? Yes. And did he make a choice that suited him? Yes.
talkSPORT 2 brings you live coverage of Arsenal's trip to Slavia Prague from 5:45. Then Tottenham's visit of Copenhagen is on talkSPORT from 8. Now, David Beckham has received his knighthood from King Charles at Windsor Castle. He's been recognised for his service to sports and charities. Sam Allardyce, meanwhile, has thrown his hat in the ring for the vacant Wolves job. It's our understanding Middlesbrough boss Rob Edwards is a strong contender after Gary O'Neill withdrew yesterday. The Lionesses have been drawn against Spain in their World Cup qualifying group. They'll also take on Iceland and Ukraine, hoping to qualify for the tournament in Brazil in 2027. And Ben Stokes has signed a fresh central contract with the ECB, meaning he's staying put until at least the next home Ashes series in 2027. There's more content on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel.
talkSPORT News.
talkSPORT spoken exclusively to one of the victims who intervened in Saturday's train attack, and the Chancellors put the country on notice that tax rises could be on the way. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Come rain or shine, we've got your electric car covered with 400 EV ready centres, so you can drive away happy every time.
It's like a game of musical chairs in the studio today. A wet and windy day for much of the north and west of England and in Wales. Brighter elsewhere, but still the risk of a shower. Mild but breezy.
This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT Weather this afternoon. Andy, please tell us, when you get a chance, what's coming up.
I've got the chance. Here it
good,
is.
okay.
Coming up over the next 3 hours, we preview another huge night of football in Europe and the EFL. Boxer Josh Warrington talks Leeds and a possible rematch with Lee Wood. And we'll get an eyewitness report on Bournemouth manager Anthony Iriola's Anthony.
Yeah, good old Anthony.
Iriola's run out as an assistant referee.
Yeah. Andoni, you could go with, possibly, or Andoni. We'll also have more of Andy's nonsense by numbers. We'll bring you the October clips of the month. An actor, author and Spurs fan, Stephen Mangan, pops in to chat about his new book.
There's all this, plus we're joined by the reporter who put Trent Alexander-Arnold's Spanish to the test. And Danny Kelly brings us the shocking story of the rise and fall of the Maradona of hurling. Amazing story from Ireland.
Proper old Irish sporting hero, and it is some fall, I'll tell you that. If you don't know the story, if you've missed it, strap yourselves in. It is quite shocking. Anyway, it's approaching 5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Paul. And I noticed last night watching the football that there's so many games on Sunday at 2 o'clock that Villa v Bournemouth is on Sky Sports Cricket.
I saw that, yeah.
They should play a T20 to decide the 3 points. And I was thinking Unai Emery's a bit like Dennis Compton, like the original Brill Cream man.
Yes, that's true. But Dennis always Brill creamed his hair, even after training.
Yeah.
He didn't have it bouffant the way that that Unai Emery has on a Friday afternoon. No, I wonder if anybody else has ever noticed that. Has anybody else ever said to him, keep your hair like that, Unai? I like it. I think it makes you look young.
I think his mum, didn't we hear that his mum, I think Guillaume Balaguer said his mum says he puts too much product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when he came in, he told us that. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
What else?
I just had a chair malfunction. As you're probably aware. We've got a chair in here. The hydraulics have gone, and there's nothing worse in a chair, is it? So the trouble is, it was a bit low.
It's a good word, hydraulics.
Yeah. And it was a bit low, so I thought, but it's the one chair in the studio, which I'm basically going to throw through the window next time I sit in it, that only goes down and doesn't go up. So it was a bit Michael Benting's potty time for the older members of the audience today.
Isn't it,
I was basically sitting on the floor. Anyway, it's been sorted now.
Am I alone?
Yeah, well, yes, you are, almost certainly.
Every time Brian Brobby comes on, I can't help
you shout Mr. Brobby.
Brobby.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
I bet everybody does.
It was a bit of a strange game last night.
I quite enjoyed it.
I did. I enjoyed the Everton goal, especially. That was lovely. I thought Grealish had some nice moments.
Yeah.
Should have laid on a goal for Barry. How did he miss that?
God.
So at 2-0, it kind of might have been a different game.
Yeah, it would have been. But
you always thought Sunderland were in it, didn't you? 1-0.
He's a better player now, I think, than he was at Arsenal.
I always felt at Arsenal he was a bit of a cartoon hard man, and he spent too much time charging around kicking people. But you realise what a good player he is.
Our producer said the last year at Arsenal, he showed that.
Yeah.
Which makes it true. But,
he was great at Leverkusen.
Oh, terrific. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I was looking around last night what games were on, and I saw that Lazio were playing. I thought, well, who's playing for Lazio? I don't know why I thought that. And they've got a player he's a midfielder called Toma Basic.
Oh, blimey.
So I wonder when his birthday is. And it's actually coming up, so I'm saving it. I've got.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Well, don't tell me how old he is whenever you do.
I won't. And that was good. What else have we got here?
Know.
Prince William. He tucked away the penalty in the Maracanã.
Yeah. Was it at the Maracanã he did it?
It was, yeah.
Oh, wow, what about that? I saw him playing on Copacabana
14-year-old
Beach.
keeper said, I didn't let him score, but you thought, oh, you did.
We had a kickabout on Copacabana Beach, didn't we?
At Copacabana Beach and the Maracanã.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We didn't have a kickabout there. We just went along.
It's amazing, isn't it? They're all there for the COP30 climate conference.
Yeah.
Why do they always hold it in places like Rio? Why don't they go to Skegness?
I don't know. Maybe
it's on the airfares, wouldn't it?
Maybe the global warming isn't as pronounced in Skeggy. I don't know.
And Prince William got Fluminense shirts for the kids.
Yeah, saw that. Yeah, nice.
But unfortunately, they're all Botafogo fans. It's a bit.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Probably not. No, I made that up.
Yes, I kind of gathered.
Good. There's a Maradona goal coin out.
I saw that. Yeah, we're going to ask Tim about that. You suspect marks not the hand of God.
No, maybe that's on the back. It should be, really.
They do celebrate that, though, don't they? They celebrate almost as much as the second goal.
Oh, very much, yeah. No, absolutely.
Are you going to present one to Terry Fenwick and Reedy and Terry Butch?
Peter Shilton.
Give them all one of those
Peter
toys.
Shilton.
Peter wouldn't like it. He'd smelt it. He'd buy his own smelting. He was still a very angry man.
Very angry.
A friend of mine tried to get a documentary together to get them back and to get Peter to go over because Peter was in Argentina in Buenos Aires with our own Charlie Baker.
Because
they did Total Wipeout.
Total Wipeout.
So there was the perfect opportunity to reunite him with Diego, who was alive at that time.
Yeah,
but I think Peter might throttle him. I mean, to be honest, he's not forgiven him.
No, he's never going to forgive him. I don't blame him. He's cheated out.
I mean, we'll sadly never get that chance now, will we?
No, that's true.
So what else have we got for you this afternoon? Yes, Stephen Mangan's popping in, the author and actor, of course. And he has a new book, him and his sister. His sister's a brilliant illustrator.
Barry Saves Christmas.
Barry Saves Christmas.
Not Tieno Barry, obviously.
No. saves his first goal for Christmas, possibly at the moment.
Possibly. It's a bit harsh.
That was very interesting. I mean, I was watching... it's quite painful sometimes when your team's shortcomings are dissected by Jamie Carragher. But I couldn't disagree with a lot of what he said last night. There was a very telling moment. And watching the Ndiaye goal last night, I was thinking, that's what Xavi Simons, that's what I was expecting from him. Someone with a real swagger about him that get on the front foot and run at players and commit players and finish.
Look.
And there was a moment, I showed a moment, and we've noticed it a lot of games, and we will talk to Stephen a bit of Spurs later on. We're talking Liverpool and Arsenal. We've got Perry Groves with us in a second. But every ball that's coming to him, he's looking to pop it off, often backwards, certainly sideways. But what he's not doing, even when he's got space in front of him, is turning and running at players. And we've seen so much of that. I mean, how do you get someone's confidence up? What do you do? I mean, that's down to the management team.
Yeah, it is down to them, and you just got to give him time. I mean, he's not going to become a bad player overnight.
No, I know. But
I mean, Chelsea looked at him a lot. They were really hot for him virtually the whole summer. So there must be something in the player.
No, there is. I don't doubt it. But I mean, what do you do? I mean, I'll tell you what. We'll ask Perry. We will ask Perry. He's a former pro. I'm sure he's desperate to talk about making Spurs players better. But I mean, what do you do as a coaching team to try and bring if he gets a goal tonight, if he manages to get one in, it could completely turn. We'll see. I'm off there tonight, a glutton for punishment. No doubt to be berated by our own players for not being good enough fans.
When you don't win a lot at home, it becomes a mental block. You only won 3 the whole year, and the fans are on edge. It's a difficult situation.
Yeah.
You can turn it round.
Yeah, an early goal would help.
It would.
A goal in the first few minutes would certainly help.
And
anyway,
also the way Spurs are set up, they almost need to score first.
Yeah.
I felt that on Saturday, that the whole game plan was predicated on Spurs scoring first.
Which really shouldn't be the case at home in 60,000 of, 55,000 of your own fans there. Anyway, Perry Groves kicks us off. The only thing that can really derail Arsenal and the title, you feel, is a glut of injuries in the same position. And you won't call it a glut, but missing Gyökeres is not great, especially when there's others out at the moment like Havertz.
Yeah, they got injuries in forward positions.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
They'll have enough they'll probably have enough to do for Slavia Prague live on talkSPORT 2 this evening.
That won't be easy though. Sunderland on Saturday.
No, that won't be.
Yeah.
Stephen Mangan's going to join us, as we said, chat about his new book, talk a bit of Spurs and more. Josh Warrington's going to touch on Leeds, who have a little period of adjustment. Now they're back in the Premier League, and a possible second fight with Lee Wood. First one was a memorable fight. I mean, I think it's fair to say that Josh was on top until he was stopped in the 7th. And there's been always this talk about the City Ground and a big fight. So we'll have a chat with Josh about that, get the strength of those rumours. Yeah, and Donny Raiola ran the line for, was it his daughter's team?
Daughter's team.
Yeah. We're going to hear from one of the coaches of that team. We'll look ahead to a big night in the EFL. We've got a massive game beyond the involvement of the English clubs tonight. It's Bayern Munich versus PSG. Bayern Munich with the only perfect record in European football. They're just on fire at the minute.
It's a really intriguing game, but the problem with this new format is that these teams are meeting early in the competition when, let's be honest, they're both...
Yeah, well, it's what happened last year, wasn't it?
And it's what's going to happen every year.
Yeah.
It's good in one sense that they meet, but on the other hand, it doesn't really matter because they're both going to qualify.
Rafi Onyxstein joining us for a chat about that game. Greg Crutwell, filmmaker, director, is going to tell us about his new film on the world of dog racing. A balanced view of the world of dog racing.
Yeah,
Going to the Dogs is the new film, and all manner of other stuff. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been speaking a bit of Spanish with Alex Aljo from Amazon. So we're going to be having a chat with her later on. We'll play you a bit of that. His Spanish was pretty decent, actually. He's done well. He's obviously been. I think he's having 3 hours.
He hasn't played that much.
3 hours. 3 hours a week. Apparently, he's been putting in. But anyway, we'll see what Alex made of it all. And Graham Alexander joins us, the Bradford City boss as well, king of the penalty takers, of course, for a bit of a chat. So that's all to come. It is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT to get in touch this afternoon on anything. 03717223344. talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089, tweet to TSH&J. Booing's going to be on the agenda today, of course, because it seems that Trent may get a bit of booing tonight as a solo thing. En masse, I don't know if you ever find this. If you've ever find yourself in a situation to boo, I'm not really a booer.
No.
But when you're booing with a lot of people, it's still, I don't know, I feel quite self-conscious because the act, boo for me, Andy, boo now, go on.
Boo!
See what I mean? It's a ridiculous noise.
It is, really.
Isn't it? I remember...
Talking of ridiculous noises.
Oh, sorry. And many long-term listeners, and when Andy has been going through an old cupboard, and he's got this little sound effects box that he occasionally used to bring in like a 5-year-old would. Yeah, see what I mean? So he hasn't really been annoying anybody in the office today with that. Not at all walking round. So... if you hear random noises, do you want to give us one more before we go? Oh, that's...
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
That's quite terrible. Okay, well, expect, don't touch that dial, because he's got about another 12 of those.
Terrible.
So, Perry Groves kicks us off. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. Check out Toolstation's unmissable Milwaukee deals. Shop in store, online or on the app. Next stop, Toolstation.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Hawksbee and Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Yeah, big night of football. We kick off 6:15. Slavia Prague versus Arsenal in the Champions League. Tottenham versus Copenhagen at 8 o'clock. And over on talkSPORT 2 at 8, we got Cov versus Sheffield United. Cov surprisingly beaten at the weekend by Wrexham.
Yeah, that was
certainly caught us out on
right,
ChatGPT. Anyway, we'll talk to Dance about that a little bit later on. But we're going to talk Arsenal now with their former winger, our very own Perry Groves. Good afternoon, Perry.
Buenos dias, Senor Andy. Buenos dias, Senor Paul.
He's doing his own Spanish now.
Very nice.
Fantastic. I'll tell you what, before we chat, let's hear from Mikel Arteta. He was talking about Victor Gyökeres' fitness after he was substituted against Burnley at the weekend.
No, he's definitely not available. He hasn't trained today, and we need to do some more tests and scans in the next few days to understand the extent of the injury, but this game is not available. No, I am concerned because he hasn't had many muscular issues, and he had to leave the pitch, and he was feeling something, and that's obviously never a good sign, especially for a player that it's very, very explosive. So we are digging in a little bit more to understand where we are in terms of the injury, and we'll announce the moment we know.
Yeah, he did seem a bit concerned, Perry, didn't he? I mean, I take it you are as well, because it's not an area where
about 6 attacking players injured at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strange one because injuries like the Odegaard injury, which is an impact injury, which was knee on knee, and he did his shoulder before, didn't he, where he had the fall. You can't account for those. You know what I mean? That is just part of football. But Arsenal seem to be picking up a lot of niggling muscular injuries. Like last season, if you think 3 Arsenal players had hamstring operations, one, you can be unlucky. 2 is sort of never known, and 3 is unbelievable. So I don't know. I've said before about the pitches. I think all the pitches compared to when I played, they're all a lot harder. There's not a lot not as much give in the pitches, because they're more sand and stone based. So, that could be a reason. Maybe the intensity of training has to come down a little bit, because it can't be coincidence having so many muscular problems.
Just the amount of football the guys are playing. Most of these guys are going off and playing international football as well. I mean, he's pretty relentless. A lot of managers.
It's one of the few things that could derail Arsenal. The going for all 4.
Yeah. Andy, you think there's 2 players if they lost, they'd be in trouble? Who are they? I'll see what Perry thinks of that.
Well, I think Gabriel definitely from corners, and Rice. I think you've got forward players to come in, but those 2 for me are the keys.
What do you think of that, Perry?
Well, yeah, I think with Gabriel, we had Saliba out for a long period last season, injured. So you can have Calafiori can play on the left side of the.
It's from set plays, though, isn't he? He's so effective, Gabriel.
He is, but there's other people who can head the balls well, and do you know what I mean? So you just substitute a Calafiori in there, or Mosquera comes in, Nkapie comes in. Declan Rice, I think he's probably the most unique, out of all the players. I'd agree with that one because I call him like the Arsenal Springer Spaniel because he just bounces around exactly the same in the first minute as what he does in the 95th. You know what I mean? And he's relentless. He's got to be careful tonight, obviously, because he's on a booking. So don't want to get booked. So he misses the Bayern Munich game if he does. But, I think he's the most unique out of all the players.
I don't know if you've been doing any homework on Slavia Prague. I mean, the feeling is even with the players missing, you should have enough to the way you've been going to the Champions League so far, you should have enough to get a result tonight, shouldn't you?
Yeah, they've not won in the Champions League since 2007. I think it's 14.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where obviously they're the best team in the Czech Republic, but then the step up to the Champions League is too big for them. But it's just about, it's complacency. These games, I think it's a 20,000 sellout crowd where Arsenal are a big team coming into sort of Slavia Prague's territory. So full well you got to quieten the crowd down in the first sort of 25, 30 minutes. And the only thing that will stop Arsenal winning the game will be complacency if the attitude isn't right.
Yeah.
Actually, this season the attitude's been
great. I mean,
really good.
If they've gone to teams, inferior teams, inverted commas, they've not let off. So
there's a lot of belief, isn't there, in the team, even with the injuries or whatever. They really, you get the feeling they think they can definitely do it this year.
Do you know what it is, Anne? Just watching the games, I don't think there's any panic in situations now. The longer it goes 0-0, actually the stronger Arsenal get. And also, I was lucky enough to play in the team. We only conceded 18 goals in the 1990-91 season. And when you're playing in teams, when you score, you can see the body language of the opposition.
Yeah.
And they all look around and they think, we're not scoring 2. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's a big psychological sort of... You mentioned about the set pieces, which, who'd have thought that you're allowed to score from set pieces these days, and the return of the long throw, which I think is great because we watch games in the past where, you play across the back four, you go into midfield, you go back four again. We want exciting football, which is the Premier League, was renowned for. And if you mix it up and you go long and you go in the channels or you create a bit of mayhem, happy days, because there's more goal scoring opportunities.
We were chatting off air before the show about all of our Trent equivalents, those players that come back to your club and don't get a massively good reaction. It may have escaped some people's notice, but we're not overly keen on Sol Campbell at the Lane.
That's funny.
And Sean, our producer, is an Arsenal fan, and he was saying probably Fabregas was the one that sort of got it, after moving to Chelsea and stuff. It's always a fine line. Fans on the outside, I mean, they'll say, well, look, Trent was brilliant. He was at Liverpool from the age of 8. It seems to be the fact that he went for Nelt,
which isn't his fault. Like
Sol Campbell, it kind of catches in the crowd of the Liverpool fans. And what's your reading of it? Would you be giving him a round of applause? But I mean, you haven't got skin in the game, Perry, a bit like us, I guess. We're not Liverpool fans.
Yeah, but also Liverpool fans, you got to get over yourself. Real Madrid are a bigger club than you. It's that is it. The food chain. I got it when Van Persie left us to go to Man United because Man United had more chance of winning the Premier League. At the time when Fabregas went to Chelsea, they had more chance in that he wants to win trophies. So sometimes you have to get it. And the Liverpool fans, they think that if they boo Trent Alexander-Arnold, it's going to make him play worse. Because all it will do, apathy is the best thing. And apathy, if you could, you just go, oh, he's back. But if you boo him like the pantomime villain, it's going to inspire him. And when he put on a Liverpool, as a player, your duty is when you put on your shirt for the team that you're playing, you give everything that you have when you're wearing that shirt. When it's in training, when it's in games, then he's allowed to say, I want to go into, and I think he should be applauded to go and test himself and get him out of his comfort zone. And I love Liverpool as a city. I go up there, a couple of best mates are up there, and it is brilliant to go up there. But on the football side, a lot of Liverpool fans think that the football world stops outside the Runcorn Bridge, that Liverpool is its own sort of football island. Trent's done brilliantly for Liverpool, won everything he could win. He's gone to Real Madrid. If it was me, I must admit, I don't think I'd clap or boo. I don't think it'd be bothering me either way because he doesn't play for my team anymore.
Yeah, sure. You were a bit of a panto villain, Perry. How did you feed off the boos? How did you feel about it?
Panto villain. I used to get booed when they used to read the names up. Warm-up. Number 9, Alan Smith. 3, number 10, Paul Merchant. Number 11, boom.
Thanks.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you're playing, I don't care. I don't believe any player. If your own fans turn against you and they boo you, it makes you more tense. It makes you more anxious because you know that your touch is being scrutinised, your pass. You don't play freely because you've got it in your head. Booing, as you said there, Paul, it's a bit of a, if you're booing and you're having a laugh, it can be funny, but booing your own player is never going to make them perform any better at all, and booing your own team. So I get it if it's at half time, I get it if it's the end of the game, but during the games, you want to get behind because you want your team to win. Sure. And when the fans round, all I used to do, I just run around. I used to run around and kick a few people, and then they get inside. So you're right.
Doesn't take much.
He's already been booed by the Liverpool fans when he was playing for Liverpool.
He's got it out of his system. Anyway, he may not play, so he'll just get booed as he's warming up on the sidelines. Cheers, Perry. Enjoy the game tonight. Thanks very much.
Cheers, boys.
Perry Groves there, former Arsenal winger. Joe Shannon and Scott Minto, your commentary team for that one at 5:45 on talkSPORT 2. We're about to touch on Spurs Copenhagen next because, and that's live on talkSPORT at 8, because Stephen Mangan's popping in the studio. Actor, author, his new book's out. He'll be telling us about that in a few moments' time.
A hometown hero or a treacherous traitor? How will Liverpool greet Trent Alexander-Arnold tonight? Well, Arne Slot says the reception from him will only be positive.
He was our vice-captain, he was my vice-captain last season. I have memories working with him who were only positive.
Real Madrid are at Anfield in the Champions League tonight, but the fan reception might be a little bit more mixed.
Everyone goes, oh, he was at the club for 20 years. So you've been with your missus for 20 years and you knew she was texting some Spanish fella.
There's also a heavyweight clash between PSG and Bayern Munich. And while the French side are the defending champions, they're littered with injuries. French football expert Julien Laurens has pointed out it's Bayern who are the most informed team in Europe right now.
There's no one better than them. 15 games, 15 wins in all competitions. Vincent Kompany doing an amazing job. Harry Kane on fire. Luis Diaz. Michael Olise.
Rangers claim there's a big problem with refereeing in Scotland. They say too many calls are inconsistent and difficult to justify. That's after Celtic's Austin Trusty wasn't sent off for appearing to kick Jack Butland in the head. That was during the League Cup semi. And Ali McCoist isn't happy either.
It's one of the worst refereeing decisions I've seen in years, by the way. Backed up by whoever's sitting in the VAR.
And Sir David Beckham has formally accepted his knighthood at Windsor Castle. He's been recognised for his service to sport and charities. All your latest is at talkSPORT.com.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Making a welcome return to the studio is the actor and author. His new book, written by him, illustrated by Sister Anita. Barry Saves Christmas. Stephen Mangan. Good to see you, Stephen.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
this is not your first rodeo, is it? You've written a number of other books.
This is number 8, I think, amazingly.
Fantastic. Wow.
Yeah, it's not, books are great. They actually can hold them in your hand. You do a film or a TV show, it's out there somewhere, but these things are solid objects. I love it.
Yeah.
What age is the same?
Sort of 8 to 12, basically, which I like as an age I like writing for, because I think they're still young enough to go with you on my sort of crazy flights of fancy, but at the same time they're getting to the point where they can handle some quite complex ideas, and but I try and write them but they're also a tough age group to write for, because kids are not polite. If they don't like something, they'll just put it down and watch a screen. So you've got to be funny, you've got to be it's got to be full of adventure and excitement right from the word go.
Did this start with your own kids? Is that
I've got 3 boys. The oldest is now 18, but the youngest is 9, so he's still in the zone. And so
he's a good focus group for you.
Frank, my 15-year-old, is my plot advisor. I will take, especially if we go to the football together, on the tube on the way there, I will explain where I am with the plot, and he will tell me where I'm going wrong and make some suggestions.
Wow.
It's very handy.
And so, as you say, if you're writing children's books, I mean, I suppose Do occasionally you get it wrong? Do the editors say, I'm not sure that quite flies, that might be a bit too much for the age group? Or
Yeah, totally. Because, I mean, you know, we do all perhaps remember what it was like to be that age, but, you know, I write to entertain myself, essentially, and to make myself laugh, make my sister laugh, who she does illustrations. And occasionally they'll say that idea is a little bit too complex or a bit too near the knuckle or whatever. But, you know, I think children can cope with a lot more than, you know, we often give them credit for. But
the illustrations are lovely.
Aren't they good?
Covers,
yeah.
Barry's cute. I mean,
Barry's a St. Bernard. Because I wanted to write a Christmas story. But, you know, so many of those things have been done, Santa, elves.
Yeah.
So I thought St. Bernards are out rescuing people in the snow.
There's a good explanation of St. Bernards in the book about how they came
Do you know
about.
what? I did a lot of research on St. Bernards.
Did you really?
Yeah, they're incredible dogs.
You don't have a St. Bernard?
No, I don't.
Right, okay.
But I tell you who did was J.M. Barrie, who wrote Peter Pan. And that's why he's called Barry in this book, because St. Bernard he had a St. Bernard called Porthos, who was the inspiration for Nana in the Peter Pan.
Oh, okay. Is this the first Barry book?
It is. Do you know what? All my books are standalone books.
Right.
I mean, I'm probably being a bit daft there because I think, you know, if you write one in a series, then that's probably the way forward. But I always have an idea and I just want to go with that. So I'm not really thinking of the other side of it.
But could Barry resurface beyond Christmas? Is he just for Christmas? The dog is just for Christmas.
I mean, the story of Barry Saves Christmas, I don't want to give too much away. Spoiler alert, he does save Christmas in the end.
Okay.
And he's okay at the end as well. So, maybe Barry is back, you know.
Does any swigging from the barrel of brandy go on in the book? I suppose that's not right for 8 to 12-year-olds.
No, I can't. That's one of the things that I'm not allowed to do.
Promote
alcohol.
Barry hasn't even got a barrel.
He hasn't got a barrel, no.
No.
Barrel-less Barry.
Well, they don't do it anymore. They've been retired, all those St. Bernards now in the Alps. They're not there anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
See, this is all part of your research. No one knows more about St. Bernards than you.
My favourite fact is that the dogs were not trained by the monks. The older dogs would take the younger dogs out.
Yeah, they
trained each other. Isn't that good?
Really
fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. Now, I am a massive fan of landscape artists, not as that, more portrait artists, to be really honest, because I prefer figurative art. But
okay. Well, this is getting very highbrow. Do you have a string quartet under this? Bubbling
that's right. You like seeing a portrait, right?
Listen, honestly, he loves portraiture, but he's got a sound effects box. Press one of your box. Go on, press one, Andy. It's like a child. See what I mean?
I've got a perfect book for you for Christmas.
Yeah. He can't read. I'll have to read it. I'll have to read this to him. He can't read. Anyway, you were yes.
Portrait Artist of the Year.
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful programme.
Thank you.
Just brilliant.
It's a treat to make. Yeah. And the new series is on at the moment.
Guests. People obviously love doing it because you get really good people.
We get a lot of people now asking to be on it, which is when you know you've cracked something. Is when you get celebrities coming up to you, and we get a whole range of people: singers, actors, sports people. Yeah, it's a treat. And it's magic to me because I can't paint.
Oh no!
So watching these people,
brilliant. These people,
and I think it works so well at home because you're seeing what we're seeing. You're not losing anything, by watching it on telly.
And generally, the standard's pretty high. They don't. I mean, I have read about the show, and sometimes the standard isn't as high as other times, and the judges have got to be nice about it, But in general, it's pretty good, isn't it?
And they only have 4 hours.
Yeah.
And for some people, if they're drawing or they're using acrylics or whatever, that's a good amount of time. But other people who paint in oils are used to taking 2 weeks.
Did it with his biros the other week. Everything was just little crosses done with the biro.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I call Andy out for his juvenile behaviour, but you did write a book called The Fart That Changed the World, Stephen,
yes,
didn't you?
I did. That's a very serious work. Well, the thing is, with children, I know what it's like. There are so many distractions, so you want to get them to pick it up.
Yeah.
And if you have to put the word fart in the title, so be it.
That's it. That gets it off the shelves.
Clickbait. It's clickbait for children.
For you, it's brilliant to be a presenter and a writer because as an actor, you've got times where you're not going to, it doesn't matter how good you are, and you're good, obviously, but you're not going to work. So all this works really well in conjunction with it.
I imagine you're fairly busy, though, aren't you?
No, of course.
I am busy. Yeah. Do you know what it is?
You're not washing pots in the evening.
No, I'm not saying that. But what
actor...
taking in washing for the neighbours.
What I'm saying, don't you?
I do. Well, I love is doing something different. For me, when I'm asked to do something like the Fortune Hotel or Password or, a game show on IT, whatever, it's something I haven't done before. And immediately that makes me feel like I'm starting out on something new. And I always find that's the most exciting bit of any job or career is the bit when you're starting out and you feel like you're learning and you're getting to know it for the first time. That can be really, thrilling. So even at my old age, that makes me feel like I'm just beginning.
Yeah, and you've become a bit of a go-to presenter of I Got News for You, haven't you? I've noticed. I mean, I think the writers, and we know Kevin Day, one of the writers, pretty well, they must love it because obviously you can deliver a line. They had Jason Manford on last week. And not everybody can, I think it's fair to say. So you probably deliver their material in the way they'd like you.
I mean, I think they're on series 69 or 70.
Yeah, no,
literally. And, they've kissed a lot of frogs in that show over the years, and some turn out to be princes, some don't.
It looks like you enjoy it.
I love it. I love it. I think I've done it 20 odd times now or something. It's exciting because a bit has been written for you and a bit hasn't, and so you've got to keep your wits about you.
Yeah.
And if Paul and Ian are on form and you have a couple of good guests, it's a great place to be.
You did come and you did come and see us a few years back with Tamsin Gregg when you were launching episodes again. Something I absolutely loved, that series. Brilliant series.
That was fun to do as well. I mean, set in Hollywood. Filmed mostly in Wimbledon, which was a little bit disappointing when I heard we weren't going to be on, Hollywood Boulevard the whole time. But we did shoot a bit of it out there. But yeah, again, it's a project. It was great writing. You read the scripts and you just think this can only go well, and working with Matt LeBlanc, he was fun. I did try to get him down to Spurs.
Oh, you never took him to a game?
I tried.
Wow.
He couldn't get his head around Tottenham Hotspurs. He called them chutney hooplas.
But he absolutely sent himself up in that show. He didn't mind, did he?
Yeah. No, well, that's him.
I think he'd made his money. He didn't have to worry about it, really.
I think he's comfortable, put it that way. Yeah, they did all right, those friends.
You've brought Spurs up, a thorny issue for both of us at the moment.
Yeah.
You won't be there tonight. You thought you were working. So
I thought I was working, so I didn't get my ticket for tonight, but I'll be there at this next the Slavia Prague game in December.
Yeah, Arsenal loosen them up for us tonight. Hopefully. It's weird at the moment, isn't it? I mean,
it is weird. I mean, it feels like a car that's out of control, was swerving from one side of the road to the other. We had the sort of dourness under Conte, and we binned that, and then Postecoglou opened the doors and floodgates, and I don't know. I mean, you got to give him time. You just look at the fact our front four last year, starting your best front four would have been Sonny, Maddison, Kulusevski and Solanke.
Sure.
None of those four are available.
Yeah, that's true.
Who have they been replaced with? Kudus, he's doing okay.
Yeah.
But Odegaard, Tell, Simmons, they're all young.
Yeah.
They're all, 19, 20. It takes a while.
Colomboani's been injured and he didn't really play much
he
over
looks
the
quite
summer.
lively when he has played. So, defensively we've shored up. We've got a great defence. We've also got Paulinho and Bentancur, who are not the most, forward-thinking of holding midfielders. So, I was there on Saturday. Frustrating. I've been a season ticket holder since Jerry Francis was the manager, so that's going back a bit. And I think Saturday was one of the worst performances I've seen from us. Yeah. Chelsea aren't up to much at the moment either, but they...
Thanks.
Well, they're not. I mean, the most expensively put squad in world football.
That's not actually true.
In world football. And they were average. You should have won us. We were... you weren't that up to much. We were worse. We were
I'm not having that. I'm not, because there's a big difference between the two teams. I think Chelsea are building to something pretty special. They've got some great young players. What player of Spurs got this as potentially good as Esteval? Seriously.
No, I don't think you do.
Come on. And players like Caicedo.
Well, yeah.
Well, we haven't spent 106 million.
No, Chelsea have spent a fortune, but they
you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
But why are they not there yet? Why are they playing so poorly?
Because they're young and they're inconsistent, but they're doing a bit like what Arsenal did about 2 or 3 years ago. They still won the Conference League. They still won the Club World Cup. And yes, in some games,
it's like Europa League though.
No, but against teams like Sunderland, they'll turn out to be absolutely awful, but then they'll play against Liverpool and be brilliant.
So it's Wolves on Saturday.
Guarantee that they'll probably mess that up. It's that inconsistency and mentality. That's Chelsea, isn't it? That's Chelsea's problem.
So you're not Frank out. You're not Frank out.
No, come on.
No,
For goodness sake.
Who could possibly be at this? Exactly.
Just got the key to the executive washroom. Give him a chance. It was worrying, that little contretemps between Jed Spence and I don't know, but they, I think
Are you a booer, Stephen?
I didn't boo. No, but you feel like it because it was frustrating. They had that free kick.
Well, Vicario's talked about it. He said,
Vicario passed to Spence. Spence got closed down. Back it went. We had 30 seconds on the clock.
He did say in hindsight, I should have stuck it in the mixer, which is what he basically said. And
yeah.
he said, but you make decisions and sometimes they're the wrong ones. So fair, he put his hand up, I guess.
I think you get Mawani up to speed, you get Solanke back, you get Kulusevski back. God knows when James Maddison is back. But, you know, things will look very different, I think, in those circumstances. And then it won't all be falling on, like, Xavi Simons' head.
Yeah.
Who's clearly
like last year. They won 4 out of 5 away games.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, you know, it's not. We're not.
The away form's fine.
To be 17th.
Yeah.
Stephen, lovely to see you. Barry Saves Christmas is out in hardback now. Stephen is the writer. His sister Anita.
Good Christmas present.
It is. I mean, absolutely. Who's it published by? Let's have a look. Scholastic, and it's out now in hardback. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in.
Thank you.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. I thought for a minute you may have lost a viewer to Portrait Artist of the Year, but Andy, you won't do that, will you? You're bigger than that. Because normally anybody says anything mildly critical of Chelsea.
I am never watching that programme again.
You'll hate them forever. So you're in a very select group
I'm a
of
big
people.
fan. Stephen knows that.
Josh Warrington joining us for a chat. Could be fighting Lee Wood again, possibly, who knows, at the City Ground. And we'll talk a bit of Leeds. We're here, of course, with our very good friends at Toolstation. Check out Toolstation's unmissable Milwaukee deals. Shop in store, online, or on the app. Next stop, Toolstation.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. I'm taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Time to talk a bit of boxing and football now with our next guest. He had a very memorable fight with Lee Wood. Could it be on again? There's been a few whispers. Eddie Hearn, Ben Davison, Lee Wood's trainer, has been talking about it. Let's find out. Josh Warrington joins us now. Good afternoon, Josh.
Afternoon, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Yeah, just a few different sources mentioning the possibility of another fight between you two. What's the latest, Josh?
Ooh, these rumours, Paul. These rumours. I tell you what to go about. Do you know what? We've been negotiating for a fair old period of time. I would say near on 2 years we've been on and off, and things have got in the way. And the way that I try to liken it is it's like trying to buy an house with many other solicitors and other people getting involved in a massive long chain. And once it breaks down, then that's it. And I'm at a stage of thinking now the fight is not official until the public know about it. You know, it's been already this year. I had a return because I had retired last year.
Yeah,
I had a return in April, and since that I've had 5 or 6 fights scheduled and been like that close to be announced, but it's just not come out. So yeah, until it's official to the public eye, then it's not official.
And it's a big fight potentially because there was all this talk about the City Ground, wasn't there? So it's a big fight for both of you, and a fight people want to see if they don't know what happened in the first fight. I think you were on top in the fight and you were stopped in the 7th, quite controversially. You felt a bit too early. So, you know, you've got a point to prove. He says, I saw a quote from him saying he wants to fight because he wants to shut you up for good, he says. So there's plenty of edge to it, and I think there'd be a lot of interest in it as a fight.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we were down at the City Ground a few years ago before he boxed Michel Lara, and we'd been talked about me and him fighting there anyway. He did say to me that day, don't you worry, I'll sort out this Mexican mess, and ended up getting knocked out himself. So he did delay our fight. We got there eventually. Obviously, the first time was in Sheffield. He's a big Notts Forest fan. I'm a big Leeds United fan. Coincidentally, they play this weekend. But yeah, I would respectfully like going into the first fight, but the things he has said and the way he's behaved after the fight, it's just got under my skin a little bit, Paul. So yeah, I've nothing more but to punch his head in. Simple as that.
So does it feel a bit closer now than ever before in this couple of years?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, initially when the first fight had happened, there were talks of having the rematch at the City Ground, which again, having boxed in 3 stadium fights now, I may add, a stadium fight is something that British boxing really thrives on. And like I say, it would have been nice to go to Leeds' backyard and chin him in his backyard in the City Ground. But for whatever reason, it just seemed to just slow down and couldn't get over the line. And then, talks have come back and forth. And at one point I thought it was done. But then mysteriously over the last couple of weeks, talks have reignited. And I don't know what's happened, but it looks closer than ever to being announced.
Good. Let's hope you can get it on. It'd be a great fight. Leeds wise, what have you made of the start in the Premier League? How are you feeling about life?
You know what? Like we played you boys, and there was a little bit like golfing class there, and when we played Spurs at home. But I thought we did all right there. We were hard against Brighton at weekend. I think they're really solid at home, as we are. We're quite good at home. It seems to be a bit of a fortress. I know we've been a bit unlucky, but yeah, you know what? I think a lot of Leeds fans would have called for Farke's neck even before the season start. Want to see someone else just because of his previous track record, but at this moment in time where we are, I can't argue. We've looked like we haven't looked like out of our league. We've had a good fight against some of the bigger teams, and obviously like beating like West Ham, which we should have done, but we did it quite comfortably as well. So yeah, all looks positive in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean it's not a situation where you're already saying Leeds are done, because you don't feel like that, do you? This January to strengthen, of course. So
and then the league's up and down. I think this season, it's not followed like the track record, and I think all the promoted teams who've come up are doing better than expected.
We got Eubank Ben 2 coming up Saturday week at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. How are you viewing that one as we get closer to it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first fight were absolutely fantastic. Really, really good fight, and I think when fighters have got such a big profile, it's sometimes you want it to live up to that, and then that just did that. It was absolutely a fantastic fight for the neutral fans as well. I can't see it being any other way though. To be fair, I think Chris is going to be just the same. I think with him being the naturally bigger man, and his pedigree, he's boxed some good names in the past, as has Conor, as has gone on. But I think Chris has got that bit of extra golfing class.
Yeah. We had a bit of a controversial decision. Zach Park was in the building with Jim and Simon and the boys yesterday. A broken man really felt he'd beaten Joshua Brazzi. I don't know if you saw the fight, Josh, and what you're reading.
No, I didn't. I missed it. But this is the thing of just I will touch on the fact of judges. Like it's we're in a day and age now. Obviously, we don't like VAR in football and stuff like that. But surely that technology crossover can come into something like boxing. Maybe be a fourth judge, or maybe you do go off the punch statistics. And I know that sometimes it comes to which judge likes how they dictate a fight, or maybe how defensive they are. But like you can't argue with punches landing and stuff like that. And some of the scorecards we're seeing recently, it seems to be up and down. It's all over the place at the minute.
So a kind of AI backup for what the judges are seeing with their eyes.
Yeah, I think so. Just to maybe give a bit of a reminder of like, hold on, because it's some of the boxing judges of the British Boxing Board of Control, they're doing the shows week in, week out, sometimes 2, 3, 4 shows, in a period of a few days. Like so, like anybody, it's going to take a toll. So maybe. Bit of a refresh, maybe something like completely neutral. I don't know, Paul, but I certainly do think he's looking at somewhere.
Yeah. Josh, good to talk to you as always. Let's hope we get an announcement on the Lee Wood fight soon. Look after yourself. Thanks very much.
Thanks, boys. Cheers.
Josh Warrington there. Hopefully back in the ring soon, the 2-time featherweight world champion.
It's a bit like VAR, isn't it? If you get technology involved, in one sense it'll be good, and in the other sense it'll cause.
As a kind of a companion, a backup, maybe not to judge fights.
Don't they already know that how many punches have been thrown, how many punches have been?
Well, I mean, I suppose there probably
are
stats, but I know what you mean. Look, it could be a useful tool. You've got to work out a way to work out how to do it. Anyway, we're delighted to say we're going to bring you that rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Saturday week, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Dave Allen's going to be part of our expert boxing team in a busy fight week, and you'll be able to watch along on the night over on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. So that's Eubank Ben 2, and that's on talkSPORT, and you can watch it on DAZN. Now, we know Andoni Iraola, the Bournemouth manager, is a good manager, but what's he like as an assistant referee? We will find out very shortly after Tom Clayton with the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Supporting van owners to get the job done. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon. Work is underway to restore the mural of Trent Alexander-Arnold in Liverpool after it was defaced with white paint. Trent's back at Anfield for the first time tonight since leaving the club over the summer. Arne Slot says while fans might not welcome him with open arms, he'll certainly only be thinking of positives.
I can remember multiple great moments of him wearing the Liverpool shirt, so he will get a warm welcome by me. And let's first wait and see if he's on the pitch tomorrow and how our fans will react.
At 5:45, talkSPORT 2 has live coverage of Arsenal's trip to Slavia Prague. Mikel Arteta seemed a little concerned as he ruled out Victor Gyökeres yesterday.
He hasn't had many muscular issues, and he had to leave the pitch, and he was feeling something, and that's obviously never a good sign, especially for a player that it's very, very explosive.
We'll also bring you Tottenham v Copenhagen live on talkSPORT from 8. Now, arise Sir David. Bex has officially been given a knighthood. It's for his services to charity and sport. He was asked how it compares to his various footballing accolades.
It's nice to have 6 Premier League titles and obviously a few other medals along the way, but this, without doubt, will be pride of place.
The Lionesses have been drawn against Spain in their World Cup qualifying group. They'll also take on Iceland and Ukraine, hoping to qualify for the tournament in Brazil in 2027. And Ben Stokes has signed a fresh central contract with the ECB, meaning he's staying put until at least the next home Ashes series. There's more content on talkSPORT's cricket YouTube channel.
talkSPORT News.
The Forest fan who confronted the knifeman during Saturday's train attack has spoken to talkSPORT, and Tommy Robinson has been found not guilty of a terror offence. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Whatever the weather, our range of services is longer than the queue at the Chippy on a Friday night. Tyres, MOTs, brakes and more. Book today at quickfit.com.
A wet and windy day for much of the north and west of England and in Wales. Brighter elsewhere, but still the risk of a shower. Wild but breezy.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals and taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
Good afternoon. It is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're in the second hour of the show. We're going to be heading to Munich. They take on Bayern with their 100% record so far this season. They're out arsenaling Arsenal. They are, and they're not letting in many goals. They are on fire at the moment and able to make a lot of depth in the squad. A lot of parallels with Arsenal, really. Ravi Honigstein joins us for a chat to look at their game against PSG this evening. Greg Crutwell, filmmaker and director, is popping in to see us with, about his new film Going to the Dogs. Very timely in light of some concerns in the world of greyhound racing around taxation, etc. But it's a sort of balanced take on the world of greyhound racing and some of the threats that it faces as a sport. Greg's popping in to see us. And beyond all the European football tonight, it's a pretty big night in the Championship, and it's 8 games. So Ian Danter's going to join us. His beloved Blues are amongst the teams in action tonight. So
relentless, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, games tonight and tomorrow. Before we chat to our next guest, just to remind you, it's our biggest competition yet, and time is running out. Lines close at 4 p.m. this Thursday for your chance to play to win up to £100,000. That's right, £100,000, completely tax-free. If you're the lucky winner getting the call this Thursday, you'll be heading to talkSPORT Towers on Thursday, the 13th of November, to play for that life-changing cash prize. Here's how to enter, and good luck.
18 plus UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 6th of November at 4 p.m. This is a TalkSPORT limited promotion run on TalkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Nice, that's good. Andy has brought in his little box of sound effects. You've had that for about 20-odd years. Where did you find it?
I don't know, it was in a drawer. I had to buy some new batteries for it.
Oh, wow. Okay, you pushed the boat out.
Oh, I did.
Do you want to give us one more out of... do you know which one's which?
Yeah, some of them are a bit rude. I won't play that one.
Oh, okay. Great, isn't it?
This one before, I pretended to walk into the glass in the office. Yeah. It went down quite well.
Many a radio play has been put together using something very similar.
Very much so.
Anyway, pictures have emerged, Andy, of the Bournemouth manager, Andoni Iraola, running the line.
Good for him.
Yeah. Apparently, you imagine it was last Sunday, but apparently it was a couple of weeks ago. It's weird it's taken this long to emerge. It was his daughter's team who were playing, and it was for Merley FC. Let's find out more. Aaron Watson is the Merley Falcons coach. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
So, do you look after the team which Iraola's daughter plays? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Me and another guy called Shane, we run the team. Both our daughters play for the team, so obviously we're just volunteers and got involved due to the fact that I'm obviously wanting to play football.
Yeah. I mean, you probably have as well, Andy, but when my youngest lad was playing, I ran the line a few times. You do feel
not easy.
You do feel the pressure of it. You go from being all the parents saying, Paul, you don't mind doing it, you don't mind running the line. You say, no, I'll do it. So you get a flag. As soon as you got a flag, they're all saying, oi, Lino.
It's true.
They're not calling you by your first name anymore. So the pressure's on when you do it, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, I luckily I'm a coach, so I don't have to do it. I wouldn't like to do it, even at the under 11 ages, which obviously the girls are. The parents are the biggest, obviously the armchair supporters, I guess. They're more harsh on what they say to the linesman, especially. So
yeah.
Did he come to you and say, or were you just looking for somebody to do it, and he just volunteered?
Well, no, because obviously he's for the opposition team, which was Lilliput. We have to provide one linesman per team to run the line because it's 9-a-side, so it's the first season of offsides, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can hear you. Yeah, so that did he? Yeah, we're just wondering whether you went to him or he came to you to do it. Did he volunteer, or did you say, Andoni?
Yeah, no, yeah. So because he's the opposition team, he volunteered himself for the opposition manager and came forward, and then obviously we obviously gave him one for our team as well to even it up. So yeah, but we did speak to each other after the game. Shook hands on that, thanked him for his service, I guess. And yeah, that was it. Did you
feel the pressure of Aaron of having a Premier League manager standing there? That he wasn't like passing coin on any of the substitutions or any decisions you were making, was he?
No, actually, I mean, to be fair, I think obviously it doesn't get to see it very often because Bournemouth are normally playing on a Saturday, so he's normally otherwise occupied. So I think it was just like a normal parent, just chilled on the sidelines, tried to keep up with play, made some decisions, and that was pretty much the end of it, to be honest.
Anything you unhappy? Do you think he got a few wrong? Did he let the other team?
I mean, to be fair, no, he didn't flag none of ours offside, so we were all good. Yeah, I think he needs to work on his fitness a little bit though, because he was a bit slow at sometimes keeping up with plays.
What about that? I hope some of his players are listening on the way home from training. He'll be getting some tomorrow. Yeah. So how many teams do you run at the club then, Aaron?
So I run just the one at Merley, and then I run a mixed boys and girls team on a Sunday, which my daughter also plays in for a different club as well. So
is that a mixed boys and girls league that you have as well?
Yeah. So it's the Dorset Youth Football League on the Sunday. So the girls on the Saturday is just predominantly the girls league, Dorset Youth Girls Football League. But there's 3 divisions of 10 teams in each division. So whereas a couple of years ago there was probably only one division of 10, so it's growing massively, especially with the coverage of the Lionesses and stuff as well. So
has the behaviour of parents improved? Because we've had so much stuff about bad touchline behaviour? I'm not saying in your league, just generally across grassroots football. Have you noticed that? Or
yeah, in the girls' league, you don't really get it so much. I guess they're a bit more forgiving. I guess, and it's not as, it's not as harsh in terms of tackling and stuff like that. The boys' league, you still do get a few parents that get a bit angry, should we say, towards some decisions towards the referees and stuff. But the girls' league's completely fine. I've not had any encounters where we've had to deal with on the sidelines. So
yeah. I mean, there's a few things in place these days to stop them. I mean, sometimes it's just a reminder that they should behave themselves. But I mean, it is a great shame, really, that still goes on, isn't it, in youth football?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Again, it's hard to combat as well. I don't know what the FA can do in place to try and, do more than what they can. They've got respect barriers out. They've got respect marshals there in place with high visits on and stuff like that. But I guess it's one of them at the moment, especially if something happens towards their own child as well. As a parent, I guess the parent instinct steps in a little bit and they get a little bit more high rate with it rather than take a step back and see what actually happened.
And finally, who won in that? The day your Ireland was running the line, who won the game?
I can tell you who won, but we can't publish scores and stuff because it's not non-competitive still.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
But Merley FC won the game.
Right. Okay. Well, it's good to hear he was fair. I'm sure he would be, if a bit slow by the sound of it. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Good to talk
Thank
to
you
you.
very much.
Thanks very much. There's Aaron Watson there from Merley Falcons, who found Andoni Iraola, the Bournemouth coach, running. Well, I say running, sounds like walking the line. Imagine him going into training with a sort of hamstring, which he did, running the line for his daughter's team. Talking of which, there was a funny old image emerged earlier on that your manager turned up late for training.
I know, he had to find himself.
Fantastic, wasn't it? Yeah, the manager turned up. He was having a laugh with the Sky guys on the touchline, saying, I'm going to have to find myself. And red card, not another one, they said.
No.
Yeah. It is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Big night in the Championship. We'll be coming on to some of the other games in Europe tonight, of course, in the Champions League. But Dan's going to join us next, our talkSPORT commentator and EFL expert, and we'll look at the 8 games that are being played in the Championship this evening. We're here as always with our good friends at Toolstation. You can check out Toolstation's unmissable Milwaukee deals. Shop in store, online or on the app. Next stop, Toolstation.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. I'm taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Hawksbee Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Earlier on talkSPORT, Jim White spoke to the Huntingdon train attack victim and Nottingham Forest fan Stephen Crane.
And there was a lot of shouting. The doors, I had my back to it all, of the carriage, and the door slided open, and a girl ran past me, and then she shouts, "There's a man with a knife." So I got up, and a few more went by. Then I let him go, and then I could see him the next time the doors opened. He was there. So these were all running, and I just walked back down and heading towards the buffet bar, you know. So, of course, he shouts out, "Do you want to die?" Just to me like that, and then pulls his knife out. I got him on his arm, and then I think the knife as well caught my hand, slashed me fingers and this and that, you know. And I went into a toilet that was empty, and I got in there and I locked the door, and then I rang 999.
There we are, Stephen Crane, and you can listen back to that chat on the talkSPORT YouTube channel or via the talkSPORT app. So, big night in the Championship, and joining us now to look ahead to it is our very own Ian Danter. Good afternoon, Dance.
Hello, fellas. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Not so bad. Yes. And your team, Birmingham City, Millwall this evening. I'm sure favourite of the Midlands Police Force.
Yeah, they're doing well though, Millwall, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Andy, they're doing brilliantly. I watched them beat Leicester for talkSPORT 2 the other Saturday, and I was so impressed with the style of football they were playing and the way the front four worked together. There's Tieno Ballo on the left of the attacking three behind the striker, 6 stone ringing wet, but really inventive. Femi Aziz on the other side, who's a player who's had lots of injury problems during his time coming through at Reading. Terrific. Ivanovic up front looks, like he's a good physical specimen. So after what was a really good performance for Birmingham on Saturday, seeing off Portsmouth, what I'm told was our best performance of the season by far, this is a real severe test of Birmingham's credentials, because Millwall totally deserve to be where they are in the table.
Yeah, looking to make 2 consecutive wins for the first time since August, Dance, I understand.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, it's been what I expected for Birmingham, to be honest, Paul. It's about par, because you're readjusting to a different level of football, a higher level of football. A lot of changes were made to the squad over the summer. Loan players went back who we couldn't re-secure. There's, relationships that are trying to be developed all over the pitch. I feel for Kyogo. He's having didn't come from Celtic, but we know him from Celtic. But still hasn't scored yet, and he's so close to notching that elusive first strike. And it's that old adage of once he gets that first goal, then a whole glut of goals should come. But it's just not happened for him quite yet, which is a shame, because his work rate is fantastic.
Now, you're on commentary duty alongside Mark Albrighton for Coventry versus Sheffield United tonight. It was a bit of a surprise what happened to Cov in the last game at Wrexham, wasn't it?
A little, yes, but there are other circumstances at play because Frank Lampard lost 3 of his recognised back 4 before the game had kicked off. Milan van Ewijk, the right back, was suspended. Jay Da Silva, the left back, was ill and was only good enough for the bench. Bobby Thomas pulled out with a calf injury, not sure whether he's going to be fit for tonight. So they had to bring in, replacements. And Kiefer Moore, ably assisted by Josh Windass, with that sensational hat-trick, saw off that back line. They still scored twice, Coventry. They've scored 2 goals pretty much every game this season. Their goals for column is quite outstanding. So it's all about the reaction tonight, isn't it, lads? It's all about the reaction of, how fired up they'll be against a Sheffield United side who looked like they might have been turning a corner under Chris Wilder, but have gone from back-to-back wins to back-to-back defeats.
Yeah, they're still in problems, aren't they? 22nd in the league. So
yeah, and whilst Coventry are the highest goal scorers in the league, Andy, Sheffield United are the joint lowest with only 10. So some things have got to change there from Chris's point of view.
I guess Mark will be keeping an eye on the Leicester game against Borough game, and that's the sort of backdrop of that is this Rob Edwards stuff that's out there at the moment, managerial switch potentially.
Yeah, that's a very interesting story because you would think, given that I know Middlesbrough lost at the weekend, I was at that game at Watford for talkSPORT 2 and they lost 3-0 and it was a deserved victory for Watford, but generally speaking Middlesbrough's season has been very positive and you would think that the grass wouldn't necessarily be greener for Rob Edwards at this point to jump ship and go anywhere else. But I don't know. The lure of the Premier League may just be an awful lot for some people. But with Gary O'Neill turning Wolves down, there's talk of Sam Allardyce, isn't there?
Yeah.
The Rob Edwards thing is interesting, but I would be surprised. I would be surprised at this point in the season if he left Middlesbrough so soon.
Now, young Darrow, who's working for us today, has put together a few notes and quite detailed ones on Charlton.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Charlton v West Brom because he's a Charlton. He's a Charlton fan. But they're doing okay, Charlton, aren't they? Back in the Championship.
4 unbeaten. There's no denying that Nathan Jones was the least expected of the promoted managers to kick on. But they're at Charlton doing well. Starting the night in 8th. So that's very impressive. Without any big star names in there, he's just got the squad together. I'm pleased to see Miles Leaburn back fit again. Carl Leaburn's son. I'm sure you guys remember Carl playing up front in his career, but his son Miles has had some dreadful luck with injuries, but it's sure good to have him back. So, yeah, fair play to Charlton. I mean, the West Brom, the fans aren't particularly enamoured with the style of football they're seeing under Ryan Mason, and no winning 3 is not a good look. But they are still 12th as we go into tonight's fixtures. But they've got to turn that around. They've got some great players in that squad. Isaac Price is a young talent coming through the academy. Is well worth a watch. And Mikey Johnston, who's a permanent signing, was on loan from Celtic. Super player, but it's just not clicking for West Brom at the moment, and I don't know why.
Is he under a bit of pressure, Ryan? I mean, I'd like to see it work for him as a former Spurs man, but, we've seen with Will Still, young coaches don't always get the time, do they?
Yeah. I would hope so, definitely, that Ryan gets the chance to, work his way through this. Because, as I say, it's only 3 unbeaten. It's not I mean, you feel for managers like Liam Manning at the moment at Norwich. I mean, they don't play tonight, they play tomorrow. But Norwich have lost all their home games. It's just, awful what Liam's having to go through at the start of his time at Norwich. But the fans are a little uneasy at West Brom, but I don't think there's the sort of calls that there were for Will Still to go after Southampton's defeat to Preston on Saturday.
Yeah. Bit of Charlton gloating here. He says, what is the ceiling of Nathan Jones' side? Bookies' favourites to be relegated, but currently placed above fellow promoted
Why
sides.
not?
Birmingham and Wrexham.
If you cannot blow your own team's trumpet when you're doing some research notes, when can you? Just finally, Dance, in the building earlier on, popping up with Steve on Virgin Radio, was Dave Hill of Slade fame. He was in the building.
I used to, when I worked in my guitar shop days in Birmingham in musical exchanges, Dave was a regular customer.
Yeah.
And he would come in now and again, and he was always on the search for that elusive sound that he couldn't quite find. So if you were detailed to look after Dave, that was your day gone. You couldn't sell anything to anybody else because you'd be with Dave for 7 hours.
Oh, for goodness sake.
and B, he wouldn't buy anything at the end of it anyway. So your day was because he would come in and he goes, "I've got an idea," and some sort of combination of amp pedal guitar thing that he'd never tried before. So you'd go through the card with him and you'd still get nowhere. But he was lovely with it, and it's great to see he's still touring with his own version of Slade. I hope he's found the sound because
Would he play the riffs? Would he play all the old Slade riffs when he was sitting there for those 7 hours? Great.
That was one of the occasions where the noise didn't go up from the back. Oi, put a sock in it, because you get people playing Stairway to Heaven or Enter Sandman or Enter Sandro, as Ronnie once called it.
Right. They used to be
Enter Sandman or something like that, which was always like a no-go in a music shop. But no, you could play Mama Raw Crazy Now to the Cows Come Home. We wouldn't have complained.
There used to be a fine system in one of the music shops in London. Chalk Farm Road. What was it called? Anyway, they used to have a fine system for the riffs. Smoke on the Water. They'd come in and shut you down, turn the amp off.
Oh, no.
I've seen it done.
Yeah.
And it's brutal, but necessary, because otherwise it would drive you insane.
We'll hear from you later, Dan. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Dad.
All right, boys, have a good one.
Coventry, Sheffield United. Ian Danty, you commentate alongside the former Leicester winger Mark Albrighton. That's on talkSPORT 2. Before that, Slavia Prague, Arsenal. Spurs FC Copenhagen, which is live on talkSPORT at 8 with Adrian Durham. At the Lane with Jim Proudfoot and Danny Murphy. So, still to come. Greg Crutwell pops in. He has a new film called Going to the Dogs, a documentary about the world of greyhound racing. And before that, though, quite staggering story has concluded. It was touched on by Danny Kelly in his kind of Irish football roundup over the summer. Now the case has been concluded. We can speak more. It is a shocker. It's an absolute hero of Irish sport. The Maradona of hurling, they called him. But it is some spectacular fall from grace. Danny will explain more when he joins us shortly.
hero or a treacherous traitor? How will Liverpool greet Trent Alexander-Arnold tonight? Well, Arne Slot says the reception from him will only be positive.
He was our vice captain, he was my vice captain last season. I have memories working with him who were only positive.
Real Madrid are at Anfield in the Champions League tonight, but the fan reception might be a little bit more mixed.
Everyone goes, oh, he was at the club for 20 years. So you've been with your missus for 20 years and you knew she was texting some Spanish fella.
There's also a heavyweight clash between PSG and Bayern Munich. And while the French side are the defending champions, they're littered with injuries. French football expert Julien Laurens has pointed out it's Bayern who are the most informed team in Europe right now.
There's no one better than them. 15 games, 15 wins in all competitions. Vincent Kompany doing an amazing job. Harry Kane on fire. Luis Diaz. Michael Olise.
Rangers claim there's a big problem with refereeing in Scotland. They say too many calls are inconsistent and difficult to justify. That's after Celtic's Austin Trusty wasn't sent off for appearing to kick Jack Butland in the head. That was during the League Cup semi. And Ali McCoist isn't happy either.
It's one of the worst refereeing decisions I've seen in years, by the way. Backed up by whoever's sitting in the VAR.
And Sir David Beckham has formally accepted his knighthood at Windsor Castle. He's been recognised for his service to sport and charities. All your latest is at talkSPORT.com.
Just to let you know that the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast is available now as Joe Cole joins Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist to discuss life under Jose Mourinho, his thoughts on West Ham's current relegation battle, as well as the brand new Chelsea ownership. So if you want to hear more, then the talkSPORT Daily is available on all podcast platforms now. Whenever I think of Joe, I think of our old mate Richard Ackerman, who we worked with on fantasy football. And he was a West Ham fan, wasn't he? And he was telling us, this when Joe was like 14. This lad's coming through, he'd say, just you wait. Well, he's going to be one of the great... Well, he was a great player, wasn't he?
Oh, great player.
Yeah. I remember it was the first time I heard of him, yeah. Anyway, we're awaiting Danny Kelly. Slight problem with his line. In the meantime, Andy, we could do some news and nonsense if you so wish.
Always ready.
If you've got your many cuttings.
I have. I've got some other stuff that from today.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to get that off your chest.
Yeah. What is it? Oh, yes, it's our lowest price ever trousers. This is
okay. We do love some readers' trousers.
Intriguing readers offer on the trousers.
Tremendous.
Here we are. Yeah. They're a gentle stretch where it matters most.
Well, I think we all know where that is.
So every step feels effortless.
Right.
Really.
I think we can bring you Danny. Let's do that now.
I'll come back to those.
Danny Kelly joins us. It's a story he touched on when Danny was joining us talking Irish football. This isn't a football story, but it's a great hero of Irish sport. The Maradona of hurling was his nickname. DJ Carey. His case is now concluded. And Danny rejoins us to tell us a quite amazing, troubling story. Good afternoon, Danny.
Hello there, chaps. How are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, where to begin, Danny? I mean, maybe a little bit of background on the profile and the size of celebrity that DJ Carey had.
Precisely, Paul. First of all, well done. You've got the actual local expert. DJ Carey is his business, and his life is based in a village called Goran. If I threw a stone from my garden, I would hit somebody in Goran. That's how close.
Okay, you have got a very good arm, though.
Paul, it's literally down the hill. DJ Carey is one of the greatest hurling players of all time. In this part of the world, hurling is a religion. On the island, it's a religion. And he was part of a Kilkenny team at the turn of the century and deep into this century that I would compare with Ferguson's Manchester United's around that time as well. They were enormous. They won the All-Ireland again and again and again, and DJ Carey was central to that. He won 5 All-Irelands, which is, extraordinary. And no conversation about the greatest hurler of all time is without him. He may not. People will say it's not him. It's Christy Ring or it's Henry Shefflin. But he's in the conversation. He is an enormous. He's equivalent of one of Manchester United's midfield from the treble-winning team, Keane or Scholes or Ryan Giggs or David Beckham being sent to prison for fraud. It's an extraordinary story.
Yeah. Are they amateur though? Are they? I mean,
they are amateur. Absolutely, they're amateur. Now, the deal is that after you finish playing, or even while you are playing, you'll have a fairly cushy job, a bit like Welsh Rugby Union in the 1970s. But they are amateur. So he hadn't made a lot of money from the game, obviously. And the story goes that he then sets up a load of businesses. The DJ Carey Foundation seems to be at the centre of a lot of this. This is the second time he's had a brush with the authorities, and the first part is just as extraordinary. About 14 years ago, his businesses went bust, owing people the thick end of €9 million. Wow. Now then, the Allied Irish Bank, and it was felt by the public here in Ireland, this is partially because of his celebrity and partially because hurling is, as I say, a religion, certainly in this part of the world. The debt was reduced by 99%.
Wow.
The 9 million that he was owed was reduced to just under €90,000. But he still had no way, he'd become used to a very lavish lifestyle as a businessman. And so we're going to get on to the second part of this story, where he starts a campaign for over a decade of what turns out to be pretense that he has a rare cancer. And using that, he appeals in a campaign that I'll tell you about to ordinary people who happen to love hurling and to the great and the good of Irish society for funds to help him identify and then go and get important treatment, sometimes revolutionary treatment, as he put it, in the United States. Now, look, there's no violence involved here. But there are people who've lost a significant amount of money, which they could ill afford. But I'm still going to turn it into a comedy here, if you don't mind, because people keep saying he goes off to America for this treatment. Now, people notice after a while, that DJ is looking incredibly well for somebody with a long-term cancer situation. But they also note one or two cynical types, perhaps even like me, that his treatment appears to coincide with the Masters, the Kentucky Derby, and concerts by Ed Sheeran. Now look, as a survivor myself, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute people with cancer shouldn't be allowed to have a good time, right? But people were saying, he does look well when there he is again in a private box at the Masters. Isn't he doing well for himself now, considering how ill he's been and all the rest of it? It turns out that, and people started to get a bit questioning about this, that it was all a big phony. Now, the lengths, chaps, and excuse me for doing this and not letting you join in, but the lengths that he went to keep the scam going are extraordinary. Journalists who went round to his house to just talk about his old career as a hurling great, or to talk about his medical condition, have now described how he would leave the room to go and make the tea for 10 minutes, leaving ostentatiously around the room for anyone to see letters from important sounding but slightly obscure American doctors congratulating him on fighting so hard against this terrible affliction and how he was contributing to one day a universal cure for cancer. Turns out all these people have been paid to write these testimonials. Then comes, and I think I brought this up during the summer when we were talking about Irish sport, in order to prove once again, and we've all done it, you're in hospital, you're having an ingrown toenail fixed, or in my case, you've got kidney stone, you do the picture in the hospital with the bed, where you do 2 thumbs up on social media, say, look, I'm going to be okay. he does this picture from a hospital bed, and he's got the traditional thing, that feeding tube they put up your nose and hold on with a piece of sticking plaster.
Yeah.
One or two cynical types then said, and particularly after he was arrested, if you look at that tube, and you don't have to look very carefully, it's not a feeding tube, it is the charging cable for an Apple phone.
You've seen the photos.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, just incredible.
Yeah.
So he's kept this up for 12 years. He has defrauded people great and small of the thick end of €500,000. And even in a country where GAA heroes are regarded as almost, I don't want to say above the law, that's not fair, but certainly regarded with what's the word? An affection that even outdoes leading footballers in England.
Yeah.
He had to go, didn't he?
He's gone to jail, Danny, yesterday for 5.5 years. I just wonder if he'll serve his time a bit like Mr. Bridger in the Italian job, whether there'll be people that remember him from that team and make him cups of tea and make sure he's got...
Yeah, yes, it depends. He doesn't, unless he gets in with supporters of Wexford or Tipperary, then it might be more problematic. The local rivals.
Wow.
No, yes, you're right, Paul. He might have a very good system with the garlic. You're absolutely correct.
But still, it's a shocking story.
His nickname when he played was the Dodger.
Yes.
Well done, Andy. There you have it. There you have it. Yeah.
How do you bounce back? I mean, I think his reputation is well and truly shot. We won't see him in the Irish equivalent of "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here," will we? I wouldn't think.
I mean, God, Andy, do you know what? The celebrities in this country, because there's so few people, he is so huge that anything is possible. He'll be cooperating now with, I don't know, Martin McDonagh on the film of his life. I mean, that's perfectly possible.
Yeah,
because it is so outrageous what's happened.
Colin Farrell will be off to the barber shaving his head as we speak, ready to play the part. Yeah. Thank you, Danny.
No problem.
Catch up with you next week.
Thank you for asking me. Cheers. Bye.
What a story.
Mad.
Anyway, thanks to Danny. Back next Monday to go game by game through the Premier League weekend. Of course, back on Sunday for Trans Europe Express, which, if you missed it last Sunday, is available as a podcast. Greg Crutwell, a filmmaker, joining us next to talk about his new documentary, Going to the Dogs. We're here with Tool Station. Check out Tool Station's unmissable Milwaukee power tool deals. Shop in store, online, or on the app. Next stop, Tool Station.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. I'm taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're going to chat about a new documentary now. Before we chat to the maker of it, Greg Crutwell, let's hear a little brief episode from the trailer of his documentary, Going to the Dogs.
But at the end of the day, ground people are great people.
Dogs, 24/7 dogs.
So as soon as you get in and see that first badge, you're like, right, okay.
I didn't really realise how hard work it is to do on a commercial basis.
Don't take that away from us, because I need it, and everyone involved in this sport needs it.
Ground racing and horse racing are never going to be sports for everyone because animals get killed.
I know that it's cruel and that it's wrong.
Non-violent direct action has two aspects. It has disruption on one hand, dialogue on the other.
I'm against sports involving animals when it also involves money.
There we are. It's a balanced look at the world of greyhound racing. And as we say, Greg joins us now. Good afternoon, Greg.
Good afternoon. Nice to be here.
Yeah. What attracted you to the world of dog racing then? What was your kind of in that made you feel there was a film in this?
Well, I'd always known about it and known that it was a controversial sport. And it was sort of hearing that at one time in the sort of 1940s and 50s, it was the second most popular sport in the UK behind football that kind of piqued my interest. And I then looked and thought, blimey, I'm really surprised that no one's actually made a documentary looking right inside the sport and the history of it and where it's come from, what the problems have been with it and where it could possibly go and does it have a future. And I suddenly, that kind of, as I say, piqued my interest. So I decided to sort of get inside that world and find out all about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one track left now in London, isn't it? I think it's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, the tracks have dwindled all around the country. We've talked about it.
When I was a kid, I remember going to White City on a regular basis. You could have dinner, you could watch the dogs.
Yeah, I used to go to Walthamstow or Haringey.
It was fun, but it definitely went out of fashion.
Yeah, and it's I mean, there's all sorts of threats facing the sport now. That among them, they're just places for the dogs to run. And also there's the threat that they fear in the next budget that could really hit them hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, there used to be at one time 33 tracks just around London, and obviously they've gone for various reasons. The main one obviously being the real estate value of the land. But what I found really interesting is that having made the documentary, the moment you tell people that you've made it, everyone says to me, oh my God, greyhound racing, what happened to that? Where's it gone? You know, because obviously, you know, pretty much everyone has been at some stage of their lives. And it was obviously, you know, the biggest working class sport in the country, as I say, second to football. And I'm just fascinated to know what happened with it. And does it have a future? Because obviously it is very controversial in terms of all the animal welfare aspects and issues around it.
Yeah, and people who object to it on those bases, is it cruel? I mean, it never struck me as a cruel sport, but then I don't know that much about the training methods and all. Well, where is this idea that it might be cruel?
Well, there's no doubt that there have been a lot of problems with welfare issues in the past. I think that the sport would say that over the last 6 or 7 years, it's really cleaned up its act and it's trying to improve. But there have been serious welfare issues. And I mean, a lot of the dogs that race in England are bred in Ireland, which is, and there have been some horrific stories about what's happened to dogs over there. And in other places, the culling of dogs being, killed when they're not good enough or when they finish racing and not rehomed properly. I mean, obviously, there's two sides to every story. And what I really wanted to do with this documentary was try and sort of capture both sides of it. And what I want at the end is to provoke debate. And you want people, hopefully, to have seen an entertaining film and then come out and kind of debate whether they think there's a place for greyhound racing in the world we live in today or not.
As you've made a film about that world, Greg, how do you see its future? Do you fear for its future, or did you come away with a bit of optimism?
I really think the jury's out. I think it's impossible to know. I mean, the sport has recently been banned in New Zealand and it's been banned in Wales. So, things would suggest that it doesn't have a rosy future. However, there's one promoter, Kevin Boothby, who's opened up tracks since the turn of the century. And I know that everyone in the sport really, they're doing everything they can to reboot it. It won't be like it was previously. I think in the 1950s, you had 75 million people going through the turnstiles each year.
Wow.
Well, you're never going to get that. But the thing is, the sport now is recalibrated, and it's really what happens is, people watch it at home on their laptops and bet from home. And obviously, you might get people betting in Asia on racing at 10 o'clock in the morning at a stadium in Oxford, So you're never going to get the audiences back that used to go to the stadiums. However, the sport is really keen to try and get more people going to the tracks. But yeah, I mean, I think the jury's out, to be honest.
The great actress Annette Crosbie, I remember at one time she used to rehouse old greyhounds.
Retired greyhounds. Yeah, my dog has walked with a couple of retired greyhounds. They're absolutely lovely dogs. They've got a fantastic temperament. They're great.
Well, that's one thing I really learned about going into the sport, was what incredible athletes these greyhounds are. Because basically, everything they do is natural. They don't really train. I mean, nutrition and diet is absolutely crucial. And, they might be taken out to gallop a bit, but basically it's all natural. And the thing is that they reach speeds of 43 miles an hour. They're the second fastest land animal in the world after the cheetah. And, but they are known as the 40-mile-an-hour couch potato, because when they're not racing, they're the laziest dogs around. They just want to lie about and, be stroked and loved. And it's not like they're demanding loads of exercise. And yet they can go from lying on a sofa to going to top speeds, as I say, of 43 miles an hour. So they're pretty remarkable athletes.
You never get those cheetahs in the traps.
Yeah. I'm on the 3 cheetah. Lumped on the 3 cheetah.
By the way, I was going to say to you, I haven't heard the name Annette Crosbie for a long time, but she was amazing. I always remember as Queen Victoria in Edward VII with Timothy West, changing the subject. Sorry.
Yeah, your life.
The other thing to say,
we're going to have to be quick.
Oh, very, very quick. Yeah. A lot of people talking about the handlers and people. A lot of people rely on their living for this, don't they? As well, that's the other side.
Yeah, it's a whole industry, isn't it?
Of course, it is. It is absolutely. I mean, the one thing that I learned about the people in the sport, the sort of key thing is that they try and make a living. They don't make much of a living, and it's not the kind of sport that you don't do it for the money. Basically, you do it because you love the dogs. And I can tell you that everyone in the sport, the good people in the sport, and there are bad apples in the sport, but the good people in the sport love their dogs like, it's incredible. And that was actually really heartening and wonderful to see. And as I say, they're totally devoted to their dogs, and they're also devoted to trying to get this sport, reboot it and get it back near where it was, in the last century.
Well, wish you well with the film. Greg. Yes, it's out this Friday, isn't it? In cinemas.
It comes out this Friday. Yeah, various independent cinemas around the country. So, yeah, please look out for it and try and get along to see it.
Excellent. Greg Crutwell's film, Going to the Dogs. Thank you, Greg.
Cheers. Thanks ever so much.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Still to come this afternoon. We'll be in Munich ahead of the big game against PSG, Bayern PSG. Graham Alexander, the Bradford City manager, joins us for a chat. And Alex Aljo on spending a bit of time working on Trent Alexander-Arnold's Spanish ahead of the game against Real Madrid tonight. That's all to come. Clips of the month for October coming up very, very shortly. But first, the sports headlines with Tom Clayton.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon. It's the return of the not-so-golden boy this evening. Trent Alexander-Arnold is back at Anfield for the first time since leaving for Real Madrid this summer. Arne Slot says Trent's reception from him will only be positive.
He was our vice-captain. He was my vice-captain last season. I have memories working with him who were only positive. And I have memories when I was watching him in front of the television, which are only positive as well.
Well, work has been underway this afternoon to restore Trent's mural after it was defaced with white paint. Coming up at 5:45 on talkSPORT 2, we'll bring you Arsenal's trip to Slavia Prague. Arsenal could make it 8 clean sheets in a row for the first time since 1903 tonight. Mikel Arteta's praised his side's solid backline.
The collective organization is very, very strong, and then the individual behaviors of players to defend with such an energy, intelligence and aggression every ball, obviously something that has been key for our success.
At 8 o'clock this evening, Spurs host Copenhagen live here on talkSPORT. Now, Sir David Beckham says his knighthood will take pride of place above his Premier League winners' medals. He's been given his award by the King at Windsor Castle today.
My dream was always to become a professional footballer, play for my country, play for Manchester United, and everything else that has come with that has been incredible. But today, being an East End boy, it's a very proud day.
Enzo Maresca's hopeful Cole Palmer could return for Chelsea by the end of this month. He's been out since mid-September and won't be available for the Qarabag game live on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow. And the Lionesses will have to face Spain in qualifying for the 2027 World Cup in Brazil. They'll also face Iceland and Ukraine. There's more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The Chancellor's admitted she may be forced to break her manifesto promise and not to raise taxes. And for the first time ever, there's more vapers than smokers in the UK. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Get a free vehicle safety check at all of our 600 centres nationwide to keep you safe on the road. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
A wet and windy day for much of the north and west of England and Wales. Brighter elsewhere, but still the risk of a shower. Mild but breezy.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals and taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
Yes, it is time for the clips of the month for October. We've chosen 6 clips, and we're going to have it's all done on Twitter, basically. We'd like you to go over to X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and choose your favourite clips. We'll have 2 semi-finals, 3 in each, and then that'll take us through the final. We'll ask you to vote on the final. But if you go to @TSHandJ, TSHANDJ, the next 5 minutes or so, both the semi-finals will be there. But let's bring you the clips. And first up, it was Breakfast Jeff Stelling shocking us with a listener's text.
Dominic in Wigan says, Jeff Gabby, my season ticket for Wigan Warriors is £270 for me, my 12-year-old and a 6-year-old. We can have a beer in the stands.
Certainly hope not. They're very forgiving in rugby league, but not that forgiving.
He only has a half, though, the 6-year-old.
Yes, of course he doesn't. We'd like to point out, of course he doesn't. Anyway.
This was Darren... Oh, excuse me.
Oh. Thank you, blimey.
This was Darren Bent on Drive with Andy Goldstein, revealing the era he'd like to return to and springing a surprise.
If I could, back to the dinosaurs, man.
Back to the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Why?
Because first of all, I want to see if they're real.
Well, of course they're real.
No, I mean, there's all these Sagittarius, like...
Well, this is going to be good.
Tyrannosaurus and raptors and...
Yeah, I've never seen a Sagittarius. I wonder what they look like. Quite strange.
Big body, little head.
Yeah, I imagine so. Here was newsreader Tom Clayton, you just heard from him, building up to a big night of European football.
At 5:45, Villa are away at Go Ahead Eagles on talkSPORT 2. Then at 8, Palace Villa are playing at 5:45, I should say. Then at 8, Palace are going up against, in the Conference League, I've got squads completely wrong there, so ignore me. Palace are on talkSPORT 2, Villa are on talkSPORT. We'll go with that.
Yeah, what time? Yeah, who are they playing?
I didn't know what was going on.
No, never.
So, next, Andy.
This was a talkSPORT caller reminiscing.
Yeah.
When I was in my teenage years, I went to Wembley to watch when they were doing a World Cup cauliflower.
Oh, I wonder what that was.
I love
like.
a World Cup cauliflower.
I wonder what they were. Their cauliflower shaped like the World Cup, sort of rounded off. Yeah. Back to Jeff Stelling here alongside Ali McCoist, fanboying over 80s pop sensations Duran Duran.
But what a band! One of my wife's favourite bands as well. And
great band.
She's just out of bed, so she's probably listening.
Well, I'm what I've...
Blimey, Ali, what a way for Jeff to find out.
Who knew?
On national radio. God, I bet they were scrapping after that. That's terrible. And finally,
it's Jim White with an interesting delivery of some talkSPORT promotional material.
If you're watching live on TV, you're doing it in a number of ways. Samsung, LG, Fire TV, Chromecast, Android, Google TV.
Yeah, and it did remind us of something.
It did, yeah.
Trevor Francis tracksuits from a mush in Shepherd's Bush.
Samsung, LG, Fire TV, Chromecast, Android, Google TV.
You get the idea of that. So what did you like? Was it 6-year-old...
He's got a Reliant Robin, Jim.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. 6-year-old having a beer, although, of course, not at Wigan Warriors. Was it Benty wanting to go back in time to see Sagittarius? Was it Tom Clayton having a bit of a problem with the European fixtures? Was it going to a World Cup cauliflower, as that talkSPORT listener did? Was it Ali round Jeff's wife's place while Jeff was at work? And was it Jim and his Only Fools episode? Go along to at TSHandJ, TSHANDJ on X, and you can vote for your favourite. The 2 semi-finals will be up very shortly. And around 3:30, we'll close that down. We'll have our 2 finalists, and they'll battle out till about 5 to 4, at which point we will tell you...
Tom's already doing quite well.
Yes, he is, yeah. We will play you the winner just before 4 o'clock, before we hand over to Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent with Drive. So, Andy,
yes, I was telling you...
Another little window here. You were talking about readers' trousers,
I
weren't
was,
you?
yeah, just this bit, really. I mean, the trousers have 2% elastane, who cares?
Elastane?
Elastane.
What's elastane? Is it like elastic?
Elastic, yeah.
I've never heard of elastane.
It says, this is the bit that gets me. With our hidden expanding waist panel,
we all need one.
You will enjoy up to 4 inches of extra give. Why don't you just buy the right size in the first place?
Well, everybody likes 4 inches of extra give, don't they?
Inches? Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
Anyway, they offer easy confidence, not early.
Early confidence?
Easy confidence.
Right, okay, fair enough.
A bit of a letter, talking of Erling, a bit of a letter from Brian Linford, our old correspondent.
From Pontefract, yeah.
Very much so. What can you say about Erling Haaland?
Yeah,
why has he got to be in capital?
He writes in capital letters, and Andy shouts those during the performance.
26 goals in 16 games this season, club and country, 2 away from the Prem 100 club. He scored 300 goals quicker than Kylian Mbappe, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Sky TV's commentator Alan Smith, the ex-Arsenal striker's reaction City Hall.
Yes.
Thanks, Brian.
Well done, Brian. You ran out of breath then, didn't you?
I did, really. It's quite hard to read.
Do you want me to do one of your
go on then.
Nonsense cuttings?
Yes.
Shall I say 52? Is 52
nice.
there?
Mid-range. Good. That's what we got, 52.
Mid-range cutting, if you could find us one.
Oh, yeah, this is Posh People's News.
Okay.
This is where they, a sort of middle market newspaper, basically appealing to a middle market, writes about posh people that you don't know who they are.
They're not reading that paper, Andy. Is that what you're saying?
Well, what's the point? Who cares? Muchas felicidades.
Who?
This is how it starts.
Is this Christmas already? Are you wishing me a Merry Christmas?
No.
Okay.
The headline is Lady Bella weds her Latin lover Santiago.
Right.
The Duke of Beaufort's daughter has married her Mexican boyfriend.
She was only the Duke of Beaufort's daughter. We can't finish that, can we?
No, not really, no. Married her Mexican boyfriend, Santiago Santos.
Okay. He's just made that up.
What a great team they are.
He just picked...
Santos of Santiago.
Yeah, Tim Vickery tomorrow will talk us through the results of Santos of Santiago.
They're in the
Don't confuse them with Santos, the Brazilian team, obviously.
I can reveal that Lady Isabella Elsa Somerset, 33, or Bella, is a bona fide yogi running retreats at Badminton House.
Lives in Jellystone Park, is she?
The family, exactly. See, on the edge of the Cotswolds.
Nice.
But the estate is better known for the raucous parties thrown by her father, Bunter. Great name.
I bet he's a big lad.
I can't imagine what shape he was.
Good old Bunter.
Bon Viveur even hosted Prince Harry at 16, who threw a girl into the pool. Oh, yes, all right.
Yeah.
Honestly, the people who are reading that think, oh, yes, thank goodness, the Duke of Beaufort's daughter is...
Well, you read it, Andy, don't you?
I don't read it for other than...
Oh, you say, okay.
Because I just don't get it.
Okay, well, there we are. Next time Bunter and Bella invite you to their gaff for a big party with Santiago Santos FC, you'll have a different attitude.
I will.
I imagine Bunter, because of the nickname, lays on a good spread.
That's very true.
Isn't he?
Yeah,
what a wonderful
absolutely.
Greyfriars day. So, thank you for that, Andy.
Thank you.
You might have time for one more. Just one more.
Go on then. Give me another.
Go on then.
number.
I say 66. Clickety click.
Clickety clicks.
I don't know if I've done that before.
No,
Joe Root.
I think so. 66. Oh yes, it's a hotter than. Britain will be hotter than Australia. as the Easter school holiday. It's winter in Australia. It would be, wouldn't it? Point of
I hadn't really
saying
thought
that.
about that.
Ridiculous.
That's true. Well, that was quick. You've got your little sound effects box, and you want to give us a little another sound effect from the small,
that last
small
one was
sound effects?
Absolutely. It's the only laughs I get, really.
It
let's
is,
be
yes.
honest.
You want to keep that for the birthday spread,
I
get
will.
some fresh batteries. So there we are.
I'm going to use all the batteries.
Yeah. Returning to the football next, Graham Alexander joins us. King of the penalty takers back in the day. Bradford City manager. They're going rather well at the moment.
That's good.
And it's the EFL are doing some good things at the moment. It's their week of action. We'll chat to Graham, see what Bradford City have been doing.
I always get football PTSD when I hear Bradford. I remember that time when they beat Chelsea.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember when they beat you in the cup.
We were 2-0 up. How did they win that game? It was brilliant.
It was an amazing performance.
Yeah, brilliant.
Who was playing that day? There was a couple of players, kind of old players of note, who played for Bradford that day, wasn't there?
Oh, I can't remember now. I'd have to look it up.
A couple of players having the kind of, that sort of...
So painful, I've wiped it from my brain.
It'll come back. I'm going to look it up, Andy. I know you won't. Anyway, Graham joins us for a chat. And we'll also be hearing from Rafi Honigstein as well ahead of the game between Bayern Munich and PSG, an absolutely massive game in the Champions League tonight. You'll be kept in touch with that by Adrian Durham, who's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Spurs FC Copenhagen, Jim Proudfoot and Danny Murphy, the commentary team around that, Slavia Prague Arsenal at 6:15 on talkSPORT 2 and Coventry versus Sheffield United in the Championship on talkSPORT 2 at 8. So another busy night of live football on talkSPORT. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. You can check out Toolstation's unmissable Milwaukee deals. Shop in store, online or on the app. Next stop, Toolstation.
and welcome to talkSPORT Goals and taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Hawksbee and Annie Jacobs here on talkSPORT. And, you know, I'm very fortunate to be involved in the judging of the London Football Awards every year. And part of that is the Community Award. And so we've seen firsthand, we've read many submissions from clubs, in this case, in the capital, and the brilliant work they do in their communities. And that is true of clubs, of course, across the country. And the EFL celebrate that every year with their week of action, which is this week. And joining us now, because his club, Bradford City, have been involved in the week of action today, is their manager, king of the penalty takers, Graham Alexander. Good afternoon, Graham.
Afternoon, gents.
Do you coach the boys in pens? Do they look on in awe as you slot another one in?
No, I've sort of left that in the past now. It's one of those where if I get asked from a goalkeeper maybe to practice one and show what it was about, but not anymore.
What was the secret for any budding penalty taker at any level? I mean, because, you know, you didn't miss many, Graham, did you?
No, I was practice and confidence. And the practice gave me the confidence when I got into a match situation. I know people have this this theory of you can't recreate the pressure and stuff like that, but you can't. But if you're confident from your training, your practice, and you know you can do it, I think it helps you in that situation. So it was just through practice. And I think that goes for a lot of things, to be honest.
And were you of that never change your mind school? Did you always say, you always knew exactly what you're going to do as you run up?
Yeah, I knew the day before which penalty I was going to take. You know, I started to have to mix it up over the years once I started getting a bit of a reputation for taking so many. So I did change my mind once, and I was incredibly fortunate it went into the goalkeeper's body. Sorry, and I actually got away with it. And so yeah, it's one where you have to commit to it.
Absolutely. Definitely. This is such a good initiative. Football often attracts bad headlines for lots of reasons, but this sort of work kind of goes unsaid a bit, doesn't it?
It does. I think it does. But I think there's a good spotlight from guys like yourself, Theo, and the media outlets. I think it's becoming more apparent that there's a lot of work that all the clubs, as you just said there, it's not just us, it's not just the big Premier League clubs, it's clubs right throughout the pyramid. That communicate and interact with the community, with people in need. They give people a sense of belonging, a connection with other people, which football is fantastic for, whether playing in it or watching it. And I think more and more, as over the last few decades, because I've been in the game a long time, I think football clubs have taken it very, very seriously to be that all year round connection for their supporters and not just on match days.
And as we head up to Remembrance Sunday, you've been involved with the SSFA, haven't you? You and some of your players meeting the Armed Forces charity.
Yeah, they have a coffee morning once a week at the just outside the ground. There's a hub here, and I've just been speaking with a couple of ex-soldiers there, and they're talking about their time in the armed forces and talking about the Falklands and Iraq and stuff like that. And you know, in football, we take the game very seriously. We take our jobs very seriously, and I know there's famous quotes about life and death, but then you talk to people who have actually been through things like that, and you understand that we're in a great sport, and we have to enjoy the sport. But there's lots of similarities between team building, that brotherhood, that looking to the guy to your left, to your right, and that trust. So I like to use those sort of analogies with my team anyway in the squad. But I think the guy I've just been speaking to, one of the soldiers, he actually came down to watch us train this morning for the first time in a few years, and he was amazed that he could just hop over the fence, have a picture with all the squad before training, and just watch us, from yards away. So it's great for those people to have that sort of experience.
Working in the community also has a side effect, doesn't it, of building the fan base, a bit like the story you've just told. People get involved with the team, and they're much more likely to support the local team than, say, Manchester United or Liverpool, which is always a danger for smaller clubs trying to attract those fans.
Yeah, I think you got to value the people who are with you, and show that you care about them. I think that's a big thing. I understand that the Premier League is such a enormous sort of machine, really, that it's difficult to have that personable interaction with supporters, with players and managers, and I'm sure they would like that, but it's very difficult. But I think clubs lower that down can have that access, allow that access, and I think it means a lot. I'm sure who I was speaking to just before, he's going to be telling his mates about it later on. He's going to say how welcomed he was. And it's just that feel-good factor, I think. And we're incredibly fortunate. We get, 20,000 plus supporters in the stadium, even in League Two last year. But I know this foundation at the club, we've interacted with over 50,000 people in the last 2 years. That's a lot of connection, and that's a lot of people understanding that the club cares about them.
You're coming up for your second anniversary, Graham, at Bradford, and that's gold watch territory these days in football. So that's
I'm
pretty
veteran myself.
It's going pretty well at the moment, isn't it? You're second in the table. You've only lost once. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, look, we obviously had an amazing second half of the season last season, from January onwards, really, to really climb up the league and get promoted on the last day in such dramatic fashion.
Yeah.
And we've recruited well in the summer, but we've took that momentum, and we started on day one, just be competitive, see how we can do, and we took the scalp of a few really pre-season favourites. I think the confidence it gave everyone at the club has helped us maintain what we had last season. And the supporters are really excited about coming to Valley Parade and seeing what we produce. And it's been brilliant so far, but we are, a third of the way through the season. But listen, a good start is a good start, and we're really pleased what the players have done so far.
It looks a bit like the Championship, doesn't it? It's really tight.
It's a very very tight league. Do you keep an eye out for your old club Burnley, Graham, as well? Back in the Premier League?
Yeah, of course. I only play for 4 clubs, so I always keep an eye on them. I stayed there at all of them for a few years, but my longest spell with Preston, and 2 spells there, and I lived there for so long that was a real strong connection. Then going to play for Burnley for 4 years in between, I was worried about how I was going to be taken, but they took me to their hearts, and promoted to the Premier League for the first time in the club's history was fantastic. So. Yeah, I had amazing times at both those clubs, Preston and Burnley especially. And I always keep an eye on those clubs because, you leave a part of you there, especially when you're part of a successful team, and which I was fortunate enough to do at both those clubs. But I think they've made a really good start. It's good to see all the promoted clubs in the Premier League. I think they're competitive, and I think that's obviously booked the trend from the last two years, and it shows that you can compete against bigger fish if you do your job right.
You can concentrate on the league now because you went out the cup to Cheltenham. It's a fairly bizarre goal from what I could see. I couldn't quite work out what had gone on. A lot of your players seemed to stop. There was a whistle. Do we know what happened?
Yeah, bizarre is one word you can use. I think. Yeah, the official's blown his whistle just as the lad has taken the free kick, and both sets of players have stopped apart from 2 or 3 on each side. The lad scored. Everyone's looking around to wonder what was going on, and the goal was given. So look, that's how it is. We can't change it now. We have to crack on. We're obviously disappointed to go out of the cup. It was a game we wanted to win, but as we say, we have to focus on the league now, and we've still got the EFL Trophy final.
Yeah.
The EFL Trophy, which we've won the first 2 games in, and so we've still done well. We had a good run in the Carabao Cup, beating 2 Championship clubs, and the squad's in good form. But last week was a sore one to take, to be fair. But we had a part to play in that ourselves.
Yeah. Well, all the best for the rest of the season,
Thanks,
Graham. Thanks very much.
Great to speak to you guys. Thank you.
Take care. That's Graham Alexander there, the Bradford City manager, as part of the EFL's week of action, which is, of course, this week. So we look ahead to a game not featuring one of the English sides this evening, but it's an absolute doozy. A lot of very recognisable players on show. Bayern Munich versus PSG. Rafi Honigstein joins us for a chat shortly. They are absolutely flying. They were able to rest 4 key players at the weekend and still won very comfortably Bayern Munich, including Harry Kane and Michael Olise. So we'll chat to referee shortly, look ahead to that match, and we'll be chatting to Alex Aljo as well from Amazon Prime, who caught up with Trent Alexander-Arnold in the build-up to the Liverpool-Bayern game and tested the strength of his burgeoning Spanish, and I think he did pretty well. We'll play you a bit of that and chat to Alex ahead of the game in the next half hour.
A hometown hero or a treacherous traitor? How will Liverpool greet Trent Alexander-Arnold tonight? Well, Arne Slot says the reception from him will only be positive.
He was our vice captain, he was my vice captain last season. I have memories working with him who were only positive.
Real Madrid are at Anfield in the Champions League tonight, but the fan reception might be a little bit more mixed.
Everyone goes, oh, he was at the club for 20 years. So you've been with your missus for 20 years and you knew she was texting some Spanish fella?
There's also a heavyweight clash between PSG and Bayern Munich. And while the French side are the defending champions, they're littered with injuries. French football expert Julien Laurens has pointed out it's Bayern who are the most informed team in Europe right now.
There's no one better than them. 15 games, 15 wins in all competitions. Vincent Kompany doing an amazing job. Harry Kane on fire, Luis Diaz, Michael Olise.
Rangers claim there's a big problem with refereeing in Scotland. They say too many calls are inconsistent and difficult to justify. That's after Celtic's Austin Trusty wasn't sent off for appearing to kick Jack Butland in the head. That was during the League Cup semi. And Ali McCoist isn't happy either.
It's one of the worst refereeing decisions I've seen in years, by the way. Backed up by whoever's sitting in the VAR.
And Sir David Beckham has formally accepted his knighthood at Windsor Castle. He's been recognised for his service to sport and charities. All your latest is at talksport.com.
We have our two finalists for the Clips of the Month. You've got until around 5 to 4 for vote for your favourite. Jim White with his Only Fools remix won the first semi-final, and our old mate Tom Clayton, having a bit of a newsreader meltdown, won the second. So it is Tom versus Jim. Go along once again to X Twitter, what you will, and vote for your favourite at TSHNJ, TSHANDJ. And we'll bring you the winner just before we hand over to Andy and Benty at 4. But now it is time for this.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, be gamble aware, don't all.
Yes, time for Paddy's Pick in association with our official betting partner, Paddy Power. In Paddy's Pick, I'll ask Andy to identify a mystery sports personality who has made news headlines in the recent past, and he's Paddy's Pick of the week. You're going to get 5 clues to work out who it is, Andy. We'll start with £50 in the pot for every clue you use without a correct answer.
Yeah.
£10 will be taken away. Paddy's Pick all for charity. You're playing for Deshen UK, aren't you?
Yeah.
And are you ready, Andy?
I am ready, yeah.
Here we go. Let's see if we can win. So let's have a look at this. Oh, I think you've got a fighting chance. The first one's a bit cryptic. This week's pick is a former England international who was honoured last week.
Former England internationals.
Don't necessarily think of football. That's all I'm saying to try and help. Somebody away from football who was honoured last week.
Cricket?
Possibly cricket. Who was honoured last week?
Honoured last week.
Did talk about it on the show.
Really? Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
We
sorry.
did.
Go on.
OK, well, for £40 then. He is a football fan who supports his hometown team and once worked part-time in their ticket office when he was younger.
Is it Stuart Broad?
It isn't, no.
Okay.
We're going to go for 30 quid. This is where I start to help. In February 2023, he became the oldest player to top the ICC men's test bowling rankings. He's one of the few fast bowlers after Maurice Tate in 1935 and Gubby Allen, your old mate Andy, in 1948 to play at test match level.
Andy, you idiot. Sir Jimmy Anderson.
Sir Jimmy Anderson, that's right, of course. Got knighted last week.
Should have known that. Poor.
I was going to give you a bit of, I was going to say Burnley for the team. So would that have helped?
It would have done, but I'd have known it. You know,
yeah. Yes, widely regarded as one of the greatest bowlers in the history of the sport. He holds the record for the most wickets taken by a fast bowler in Test cricket, 704. Third most wickets in international cricket, 991. He's just been knighted for services to cricket. It is the great James Anderson. And he's Paddy's Pick of the Week for a stellar career, recognised by that knighthood. So, 30 quid for Duchenne UK. Not so bad, Andy.
No, fair enough, yeah.
Goes into the pot. Thanks to our friends at Paddy Power, official H&J betting partner, 18 plus only, begambleaware.org.
Paddy's Pick on talkSPORT with Paddy Power. Can you guess who's made the headlines this week? 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Now, we'll return our focus to the sort of teams involved, the English teams involved in the Champions League before we go. But there, I say, an absolute corker of a match. Two giants of European football, PSG Bayern, meet tonight. Julian Laurent joined the boys on breakfast to give us a PSG angle. And here to talk a bit of Bayern is German football expert Raphael Honigstein. Hi, Rafi.
Bonjour from Paris.
Oh, bonjour to you. Yeah, well, what a game, what a fixture to be at. I mean, I would imagine Jules obviously is a PSG. Go for PSG, as we remember on the Excellent Goals show. But you're a Bayern man. I mean, you must be feeling quite chipper at the moment. They're able to rest four key players at the weekend and still win quite comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, 15 out of 15, even by Bayern standards, it doesn't leave a lot of room for complaints. They're playing not just successfully, but also winning in style, winning with dominance, winning with a kind of bit of flair as well. And the togetherness that Vincent Kompany has brought to the team, I think, is probably the most important thing. Of course, tactically, they're a good unit. They're very fluid. But the players really seem to love working with him, love working with each other. When people are on the bench, you still see them very excited when everybody else scores and everyone's celebrating together. And it's that kind of team spirit that certainly wasn't quite there when Thomas Tuchel was there, and partially explained why Bayern managed to finish third, which I think is a feat that won't be repeated for quite some time. It's very hard to finish third, I think, if you're Bayern Munich, but they did. This Bayern Munich, at least domestically, have been untouchable. And of course, today is the biggest test. And we all want to find out just how good they really are in a European context. And it doesn't get any bigger than PSG away, of course.
Kompany's appointment did raise a few eyebrows in light of his final season here. Did you have any doubts? Were you a bit concerned?
I wouldn't say I was concerned. I could see why they went for him. But of course, it was a bit of a gamble. I don't think anyone could pretend that it was a definite sure thing that he was going to succeed. He had very limited experience at this level. You might say he had no experience at the highest level when it comes to training a super club as Bayern are. But I think the combination of his ideas, which fit well with the team, much better with Burnley, I think that's fair to say, in terms of the personnel and the style, but also his charisma, his aura, and his experience as a former player. Plus being 2 meters tall and built like an ox. I think these things have really helped when it comes to having the authority, getting the message across, and feeling really at ease. He's never looked nervous. He's always been super cool in press conferences, never says any word that's wrong or can be misconstrued, gives nothing away, super polite, at the same time quite tough in his messaging. I don't know if Bayern wanted him, but it looks like they got what they needed.
It's a good test for Bayern tonight because PSG obviously slightly weakened. They're not at their full strength, aren't they? They're a bit like, in a way, a bit like Chelsea. They were affected by getting to the final of the World Club Cup, and they have suffered quite a lot of injuries.
Probably will be Barcola, Kvaratskhelia and Dembele, though, which is pretty mean lineup.
Yeah, I'm not sure Dembele would start. I think there's a suggestion that he might start from the bench because it's not a must-win game, of course. No. Luis Enrique would love to win the game, but it's not a game where you want to risk your best player if he's not fully fit. He will get involved, but I think it's possibly from the bench. And then they might play one of the youngsters up front, Mayulu, who's only 19, might lead the line. And of course, without Desiree Doué, that's not quite the same full strength PSG, but still they have so much quality. I mean, the names just strip off the tongue, whether it's, Hakimi, Nuno Mendes at the back, Vitinha. The quality is there. And of course, they've got exactly the kind of quality. And we saw bits of Chelsea of that as well in the Bayern game. That can hurt Bayern in transition, on the break, on the wings. That's where Bayern, if there's any vulnerability and fragility, that's where they can be get at.
Yeah, it was a strange game, that game, because Chelsea did give Bayern a big helping hand, but since then their form has been tremendous, hasn't it?
Yeah. You touched on a good point there, Rafi, about maybe not risking Dembele for a game that isn't must-win. The new format allows us to have matchups like this, but kind of without the element of jeopardy that we'd normally expect when these two meet. I mean, what do you make of the format? How do you think it's been working?
Well, first of all, I don't think it makes much of a difference in terms of the jeopardy, because if Bayern and PSG would have met in the group stage, I don't think any of them would be worried about not getting through.
Yeah.
They would
they wouldn't, they wouldn't, would they? That's the whole point, that they'd never be.
Both go through.
Yeah, they'd never be in the same group, would they?
Oh no, they've
in the
played
old days,
a few times. They've played in the same groups a few times, and it happens. But of course, with the top two qualifying, there was never any jeopardy. Now the jeopardy is you want to avoid those 2 extra games, which, as a fan, if the worst that can happen to my team is that they have 2 more games, it's like not the end of the world. I'd love to see my team play. As much as I understand that they would rather rest in February, as Bayern couldn't do, they had to play Celtic. I personally didn't think it made that much of a difference. So yes, I think these are sort of games that are a little bit sort of jockeying for position. I think these are games where teams find out how good they are. Of course, they will qualify whether it's a top 8 or not. I think we saw at PSG, they didn't finish top 8 and still managed to win it. It's also not the end of the world if you don't do that. But at the same time, what I feel is maybe that lack of jeopardy gives a little bit more freedom and makes the games slightly more entertaining, less cagey, because you can lose and you just want to do your best and play almost with a bit of freedom. So in that respect, I think it's actually quite nice. But these sort of sides, these kind of sides, they will never be troubled, whatever format, unless you go back to the old one with knockouts straight away at the European Cup.
Champions only.
I didn't realise.
Like that's ever going to happen.
No, that's never going to happen. I didn't realise PSG have lost their last 4 matches against Bayern in the Champions League.
Okay, psychological boost.
But they won the one in the Club World Cup, which really hurts Bayern, and they want revenge for that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Enjoy the game, Raf. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Rafi Honigstein there, the German football expert. He'll be heading off to the stadium tonight, and you'll be kept in touch with that game by Adrian Durham, who's live at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as I will be. Can't wait, as Alan would say, for Spurs versus FC Copenhagen tonight. Before that, Slavia Prague, Arsenal. They'll keep you in touch with Liverpool, Real Madrid, and we're going to have a chat with Amazon Prime's Alex Aljo, who met up with Trent Alexander-Arnold in the build-up to this game against his old club and tested the strength of his burgeoning Spanish. We'll play you a bit of that and chat to Alex in a few moments' time. We're here, as always, with Toolstation. Check out Toolstation's unmissable Milwaukee deals, shopping store, online or on the app. Next stop, Toolstation.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals and taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
So, as we said, we'll keep you in touch with the big game between Liverpool and Real Madrid. In the build-up to it, the Amazon Prime reporter Alex Aljo met up with Trent Alexander-Arnold ahead of his return to Anfield, and they spoke a bit of Spanish together to see how Trent was getting on. I thought he was doing pretty well. Let's have a listen.
Porque es muy diferente, ¿no?
Sí, la cultura es muy diferente, pero está bien. Sí, me gusta mucho. Muchos nuevos amigos y compañeros. Me gusta mucho el sol y la vida también.
Bueno, let's speak English now.
Yes, better.
But that was really good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different culture, new friends.
Yeah.
I recognise that bit.
He sounded good, Alex, didn't he?
Really, really good. Honestly, credit to Trent, the way he's learned his Spanish. I said to him, let's start the interview in Spanish. I expected him to say, absolutely no way, not a chance, give me a year, then I'll do that. He said, yeah, okay. And I gave him an example of what I was going to ask in Spanish. He went, that's way too basic. Way too basic.
Oh, really? Oh,
wow.
Make it harder for me. Make it harder for me. So I stepped it up. I asked him some difficult-ish questions and he responded perfectly. 3 hours a week, he learns Spanish with his Spanish teacher. And honestly, just brilliant, isn't it? The way he's adapted and he can speak with all his teammates. He doesn't have to speak English with Xabi Alonso. He said when he first arrived and he didn't speak Spanish, he really struggled. And Xabi would be giving instructions in Spanish, the drills. And he'd go in and have no idea what he was doing, muck them all up, and then have to say, actually, sorry, I had no idea what you just told me to do. But now he said he's brave enough to also say when he doesn't understand, but he also understands so much more now.
He told you he's doing 3 hours a week, but he's obviously putting the hours in his own time, clearly, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. Because he said he hates it when people at the club speak to him in English because they want to practice their English because he wants to speak Spanish. He's the one that's moved to Spain and wants to learn a new language. So he's definitely putting the hours in because, as you say, you could do 3 hours a week, but you still need to practice. And it is exhausting. You can see why some players, not mentioning any names, didn't learn Spanish when they went out there because long day of training, probably the last thing you want to do is come home and start speaking another language. So really good from Trent.
I remember, that's a good point. I remember interviewing David Platt years ago for World Soccer, and he was saying that he really worked hard to learn the Italian. He said because then you're not completely reliant on the club or other people or people like, if the lights go off, you can phone an electrician. You can do all those things you could do at home. And he said he felt quite helpless and a bit useless until he got up to speed with the language.
Yeah, absolutely. And Madrid as well. It's most people that live in Madrid don't speak very good English. So it's not like when you go to Paris and they don't want to speak French with you. In Madrid, they speak Spanish to you. So the fact that he can go out, he can go to a restaurant, he can order in Spanish, so the basic things, as you say, just sort out general life issues in Spanish in Madrid, because it's really, really difficult. I lived in Madrid for 4 years. I spoke the language, luckily, because if I hadn't spoken Spanish when I lived there, it would have been really, really hard. So he's going to adapt so much faster speaking Spanish, and it's great to see and hear in an interview as well. I really thought he was going to say no way, but it was brilliant. Good.
He did well to understand. I always found that when I was learning Spanish and speaking, that I was fine to speak it, and then people would speak back to me, and I think, no, sorry. Because you know what you're going to say, but you don't know what they're going to say. So it takes a bit of time.
Yeah, he did very well. Did he touch, Alex, on the kind of reception he's likely to get tonight? Because that's been one of the talking points.
Yeah, he did. Obviously, I had to ask him about it. He said it's going to be very, very difficult. And I said, do you mean the game or do you mean the reception? And he said, well, a bit of both. I said to him, I hope you get the reception you deserve, obviously, which is a good one. And would that be closure for you? Which it obviously would be. I think it'll be a mixed reception. I think there's a very fine line between love and hate. Both emotions mean you care deeply about someone. I always say that. And the Liverpool fans adored Trent. They absolutely adored him. They miss him. They're hurt. They do love him, really. But you can understand both sides, can't you? But we don't want to see this. My taxi just took me past the mural, and it has all been cleaned, because we don't want to see that, do we? Also, it's a distraction from what should be a brilliant, brilliant game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it will be.
Alex, enjoy the game tonight. Good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Take care. So there we are, Alex Aljo from Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime's coverage of Liverpool Real Madrid starts at 6:30 with kickoff at 8 o'clock. We have our winner of the Clips of the Month. I'm sorry, Tom. It was indeed Tom Clayton bringing us news of the big night of European football. Won by a solid 64% to Jim White's Only Fools episode at 36. Here it is one more time.
At 5:45, Villa are away at Go Ahead Eagles on talkSPORT 2. Then at 8, Palace Villa are playing at 5:45, I should say. Then at 8, Palace are going up against, in the Conference League, I've got squads completely wrong there, so ignore me. Palace are on talkSPORT 2, Villa are on talkSPORT. We'll go with that.
Sorry, Tom. Well done. Congratulations, winning the Clips of the Month. Thanks for everybody who voted. That is us. Stick around for Andy and Benty. It's Champions League drive, building up to all of our live football tonight. Of course, 3 games for you across talkSPORT. talkSPORT 2 in the Champions League and the Championship. We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.